Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Madaz here, back by popular demand. Yet another Madaz Money podcast. Real traders, real talk. Thanks for coming out here, hanging out with us this fine Sunday morning. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's up, Max?
Hey,
What up? Everybody out there in chat, how's the audio? I know last time a couple of you guys said the audio wasn't the best. So let me know if the audio's sounding crystal clear. Let me know. And of course, guys, if you guys want to give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, show some support. If you guys want to hear more of these awesome podcasts, let me know. Yeah, share the link with your friends. Tell them to come hang out with us and shoot the shit about the market and all that good stuff. All right. So first of all, hopefully you guys checked out my YouTube video that I released last night. Hopefully you guys got some interesting information, some knowledge from it. That's the whole point. I released those YouTube videos so I can share with you guys all the knowledge that I have, and maybe you guys can become better traders for it. So if you guys haven't done so already, go ahead and check out that YouTube video. Give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe as well to the YouTube channel. But without further ado, we're going to talk about the hot topic of the week, and that's going to be GameStop, right? We talked about GameStop last week, and GameStop is still in the news, or rather should we say GameStonk, as what Mr. Elon Musk coins it. But yeah, it's been a crazy week, guys. I mean, where do we even start? Where do we even begin? We got like literally every single like possible participant involved in this thing, right? You got the hedge funds, Melvin Capital blowing up, and God knows if they're actually even out. There's all these conspiracy theories about whether or not they're actually in. They're still in, they're out. Who knows? CNBC might be, doing some weird stuff. And then we got obviously, the Wallstreetbets guys from Reddit and all the stuff that they're doing. And what else we got? We got RobinHood with the random, you guys can't trade, you guys can't buy, but you can sell. You can sell though. You can't buy, but you can't sell. And then the next day, after all that, outrage from all their customers, they're like, you know what? Okay, you know what? We'll be nice. We'll let you buy 5 shares. And then 2 hours later,
I thought it was like 2.
Well, 2 hours later, 2 hours later, it went to 2 shares, and then like another hour later, it went to 1 share.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. 1 share.
Yeah, so now you can't say anything because you actually technically can buy it. Just 1 share.
Is it 1 share in total or 1 share at a time?
I don't know. Actually, total? Is it total? Total? Yeah, it has to be total. Yeah, or else you could just send like 10,000 1 share orders.
Yeah.
Because it's free commissions, right? So it's kind of like penalty free for you to do that if you really wanted to. If they allowed you to buy 1 share 10,000 times. But man, that's crazy, dude. I sometimes you can't even fathom what the hell is going on, right? You think this is gonna be a pretty epic movie, by the way. So expect some pretty crazy movie about this entire saga in like 5 years. But
you guys saw the billboard in Times Square in New York City?
Yeah, GameStop.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, do you have the link to that? I actually haven't seen that.
Oh, that was funny. Let me check.
It's not just Times Square though. There are other cities where these billboards are popping up, right?
Yeah.
Someone has to pay for it. Someone is really paying for it. It's not cheap. So
Well, I mean, it's worth it for them.
Yeah. Exactly.
You guys got to fill me in. Up in Canada, we don't have anything like that. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. So pretty much there's somebody or some entity is paying for these billboards that's saying GameStop to the moon, right?
Yeah,
And,
I posted a link in the chat over there.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's like, and they're bringing up all over the United States. You see one in New York, and I think there's a few other states where they're just like popping up, right? I mean, I haven't seen any in Houston yet, but if I see it, I'll definitely repost it. I'll definitely repost it for everybody, because that'll be really fun. And yeah, I actually
check it out here. Oh wow.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be pretty interesting, and I can almost guarantee you that they're gonna make this thing. They're gonna incorporate this into an episode of Billions. Like I'm like 100% sure they're gonna do that. Like this whole GameStop fiasco with the hedge fund blowing up, they're gonna find a way. Like the next season of Billions, they're gonna add that in there. Maybe Bobby Axelrod, he almost blows up or something, and I think that'll be really fun. Because like the previous season they had an episode with Billions where Bobby got squeezed. Like he got squeezed. He was short of stock, and they almost took him out. So this episode could be really, this season, if they add that in there, it could be really fun. Like it will be really interesting. So you guys watch Billions, by the way?
Oh, never heard of that.
No,
I heard of it, but I never watched it.
Oh, no wonder you guys were quiet. I'm like, what's going on here? Like nobody said anything. Like Billions, it's a
Netflix
show.
or something?
Huh?
Is that on Netflix?
No, it's on Showtime. It's a show about this guy. His name is Bobby Axelrod, and he's a hedge fund manager, right? And like the whole premise is he's a hedge fund manager, and the district attorney for the Southern District in New York is trying to take him down because he feels like this guy's doing some shady shit. And Bobby Axelrod is basically a guy that came from humble beginnings and kind of like pulled himself up by his bootstraps and got like really filthy rich, like a multi-billionaire. So he does a lot of stuff. Like if you watch, I think season 1 started in 2015. I think either 2015, 2016, and it's got like 5 seasons. And if you watch the whole seasons, you're gonna see different parts where they have the episode where he almost gets squeezed. They have the crypto episode. They have, and this is like throughout the seasons. And I think yeah.
I think the GameStop story deserves a movie for itself by itself. This is something really crazy. We talked about it last week, and we were speculating whether it's going to go to 300, 400, if it's going to be the next Tillery play, but it was way worse than that. So
well, we said that we thought it was going to go to 500 almost as a joke, and then it became reality.
Crazy. I'm looking at the chart right now; it's still holding up. So it either goes back to 100 this week, or it could go to 1,000 before you know it. How long these guys they want to hold it.
Yeah, remember that. Remember that. We said that it's going to go to 1,000, kind of as in a joking way, and it's going to really go to 1,000 like tomorrow.
It could. No, I've only been trading for about 3-4 years, but this is by far like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Do you remember Dries, Chris?
No, I wasn't actually around for Dries. I just heard about it, so I've never actually experienced something like
up
this.
until right now, Dries was like the mother of all short squeezes, from $1 to 100 and something in a matter of 2-3 days. But this is like next level. Seriously, this is
I think amongst us 4, Max probably has the most experience. So Max, what do you think? Is this like top? Craziest short squeeze?
Yeah, hands down. Just from the sheer amount of people involved. Because Dries was still like, it's a small cap stock, right?
Hedge funds didn't blow up.
Hedge funds didn't blow up. Yeah, in this case, like hedge funds blew up, and it's also very revolutionary because you got this whole David versus Goliath element, right? You got the retail investors standing up.
This is average Joe versus multi-billion-dollar hedge
and they're winning.
Yeah,
that's this crazy part.
Dries was basically me versus you.
I mean, there's been multiple types of stocks like that. I don't know, Max. You remember KBIO?
Yeah. Oh, that's Martin Shkreli.
Yeah. Exactly. There's KBI like
He's still in prison?
Yeah, he's still in prison. But like KBIO was like, instead of a hedge fund blowing up, there were multiple retail short sellers that blew up.
Yeah.
Like it caused like this crazy squeeze where this one guy, he was short a lot of shares, and he actually ended up blowing up, and he had to set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if you remember, but people actually gave him $5,000 within a day, I think.
Yeah, but he lost way more than that.
He did.
He owed his broker like 100
something thousand. Yeah. But the fact that he got anything at all was impressive in itself. I didn't think that people would be sympathizing with somebody that is a day trader. So
yeah. But this one is big though. This GameStop is big, and I don't think it's over yet. Like I still think this week, because these, like, if you look at this guys, the guys in that forum, the Wallstreetbets, like they're still talking about holding. Those guys aren't selling. It's not like, okay, yeah, just pump and dump. Like we just made money and everybody's out, right? And
the longer they hold, it forces for the hedge funds to cover, right?
These guys are still holding. Like if you like, I'm in the forum, right? And like you hear everybody talking about, look, man, it's us versus them. Go big or go home, YOLO. Like they're holding. So this week, and like the stock hasn't tanked yet. If you look at the chart, it's still holding. If there's any time that this stock should go down and like just fall and die out, would have been the last few days, but it's still holding up. So it should be interesting what's going to happen this week.
What is the short interest on games?
Well, we don't know exactly what it is, but people are speculating that it's still over 100%.
Yeah, so they don't even have to move it to $1,000 to get the hedge funds to cover, because as long as if they hold it steady at $300-400, the hedge funds will be forced to cover anyways, because they can't just afford to pay 100% interest just on the short position. It makes no sense.
Yeah, but they're doing everything possible to allow the hedge funds out. With the whole Robinhood and all these other brokers restricting buying from the retail traders, now the hedge funds have less people to compete with for fills. It's all speculation, but they're really trying hard to let the hedge funds off the hook here. It's just so funny to see like all these shenanigans going on, man. If you pay attention and read between the lines, you can see what's going on.
Have you guys, the Robinhood CEO, he was on, I think, CNN or Fox or both, and he was grilled. Have you guys watched it?
Yeah. I watched that. I watched that episode on CNBC. Yeah. But this was I think that was before he started restricting the share purchase on Robinhood. This was before that. Like they grilled him on CNBC, and like, because what happened was they before they grilled him on CNBC, they had halted trading on GameStop. You couldn't even buy; you could only sell. And then all of a sudden, like after they grilled him, they lifted the restrictions, but you could only purchase one share or something. And this is like after that whole CNBC interview. So, but what's gonna happen this week though? Like they're still talking about silver. Like silver's gonna be next. Like those guys on the forum, they're saying, it's time to go squeeze silver.
Yeah.
Can you even do that?
Why not?
It's possible.
Why not? It's commodity, and why not?
Yeah,
it's a tradable commodity.
Does it have a float? I'm not sure.
Well, there's a finite amount. There's a finite amount of silver, right? Or like it's very difficult to increase the amount of silver that's in circulation. So it's actually a lot easier to squeeze a commodity like silver or gold, because unlike stocks, you can't print more silver, right?
Yeah.
So if you get somebody stuck on the wrong side of a trade on silver or gold, they're screwed.
Well, silver they can do another offering. They
can't dilute. What are they going to do? So that's why they're targeting silver. Yeah.
GameStop has 140% short interest. The only way for every single short to get out of the position is if they increase the float, right? If they announce another offering. Otherwise 100%, 140%, they can't cover all at once.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I think when this whole GME thing is over, it's going to create like a sympathy effect of further stocks that these guys are targeting. So this is not over by any means. Like when
absolutely not.
The only way to stop it is by regulations.
We've already seen that with like Nokia and AMC. Like they're targeting these heavily beaten down stocks, high short interest. They're basically trying to squeeze everybody out, and we're basically capitalizing on all these moves. Like if you look at all the sympathy plays that we've had this week, it's been so busy. So what I've been doing personally, I've been focusing on the side pumps, trying to stay away from those main targeted stocks so I don't get squeezed out myself.
Oh man,
it's just tough. It's tough for a short seller right now.
Yeah.
Was GBR a Wallstreetbets thing, or that was like a sympathy play?
I think it caught steam because all of the energy stocks were moving on Thursday, and then that one, I think they jumped on it. I think right now everybody's just watching, right? If any stock starts squeezing up, then everybody just kind of chases it. And it doesn't matter what the price is at. Like it was up 1,000%. and people still feel comfortable chasing. You know,
right? It went from 2 to 32, 2 to 31 in one day. That was crazy.
Chasers are not getting punished, and that's the problem.
Yeah, you stopped out pretty good. Where did you stop out, Chris? You stopped out at 10, 11?
I stopped out around 6 because
Yeah.
I was in early. Like my strategy, I always get in on low volume pumps before they get crazy. And I was actually up on the trade, which sucked. Like it slammed down a point. I took some carvers, but it started ripping on me, and I knew something was going on because it was skipping up on thin air. So
you must have felt pretty good after you stopped out, seeing it go to 30.
When the chart was like squeezing to 30, I realized I'd probably be down like 100, 200 G on the day if I was fighting it. So my broker max loss really saved me on that one.
Yeah, wow. GBR was a nice play. I looked at it.
You traded live, Mark, right?
Yeah. I was on the mic when I was trading it with you guys. You know, GBR was kind of good, man. You know, it was. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know how to celebrate in chat when you guys are short because I'm mostly long. So it's like, you know, it's a thin line. Like I try not to celebrate because it's like if I'm celebrating, you know, my colleagues are losing money.
Well, if you remember, Mark, I was short. I was short. I stopped out at $17. I was break even on the trade afterwards. I made about probably $140, but I stopped out and I realized it's not a short anymore.
Yeah, I was on the mic then. I was like, "Yo, this thing looks really beautiful, man." I had to take the trade. I had to get in. But you know, I don't know. But that's one of the beauty of the community, though. You have like multiple strategies and stuff. You know,
everyone can still bank at the same time.
Everyone can still bank. Yeah. Multiple, you know, theses, multiple cases on the stock, and you can make money on the front side. You can make money on the back side.
What I think in the next few months, like. We'll probably see, as Chris said, a bunch of simply plays. People will jump on anything, but in the next few months, things will slow down and everything will just start fading because the more chasers, the more the stock fades. So probably like you have to wait until the storm passes, but it's not going to go on forever.
Yeah, I mean, as seasoned traders, we all know how this story is going to end, right? It's the beginning, the middle might be different, the characters might be different, but in the end, the story all ends the same way. I really hope those guys that are on Wallstreetbets that are up, you know, $10-20 million are able to sell before their position goes negative because I've seen it.
Most of them will probably lose everything.
Yeah.
My personal opinion.
Yeah.
I talked to a friend of mine. He messaged me after RobinHood restricted GameSpot. He just sent me a text. How do I buy GameStop? Please help me. I want to buy it. So I told him you can buy whatever you want to buy. I personally would advise just to stay out of it because it can go either way. He told me you don't know what you're talking about. I bought it was NAKD at 70 cents. That's $3. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. Just don't tell me I should back off. You don't know what you're talking about. I felt bad for him. I just told him you can do whatever you want, but.
I think what's going to happen is all these traders are getting rewarded for chasing and bad habits. And what's going to happen the next stock that starts moving, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to keep doing the same thing over and over until they get buried. So it'll work now, but in most conditions, it's not going to. So
afraid. What I'm afraid of is if they will start regulating short selling. That's what I'm afraid of.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do that. I mean, I can almost guarantee you that's what's gonna happen. You guys,
that will be bad. That will be really bad.
They're gonna regulate shorting one way or the other, like one way. Maybe not like full outright ban because I don't think that's gonna happen. But what they're going to do is, I think they're going to make it a lot more difficult to short, or they're going to require a lot of these hedge funds to, they have to like put a limit on like the short or something like that. But there's going to be some type of regulation, you know, kind of like
limit the naked shorting. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, naked shorting is technically illegal. They just don't enforce it.
I thought that was illegal.
They need a way to prevent that.
They don't enforce it.
Yeah. Because with Dodd-Frank, it made a lot of those things illegal.
Yeah.
It actually, you know, you can't like, they made a lot of those things illegal. And it seems to me, you know, these guys are able to do it. The big funds are able to do it, but the little guy can't.
Yeah.
You know, because that's pretty much what they're doing. A lot of these guys are just like, you know, they're naked shorting, but it's allowed. It's okay. You know, it's
yeah.
I guess because they have like economies of scale or something. I don't know, but It's just
BPTH was also a naked short. No, Max, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think the guy was not short the entire float, but he was short the majority of the float, like 80% of the float or something. Wow. But I mean, if you're short 80% of a 1 million float, I mean, you're gonna get smoked.
Yeah. Well, look at KOSS. It is a 1 million float.
Yeah,
I think so. And there were plenty of borrows available across the board.
Yeah, and it was definitely float locked for sure.
Yeah, someone still every single day goes to 100, back to 60, back to 100. It's really difficult to trade it.
I remember a few months ago when cost was like less than $10. When it's like
a few days ago.
Cost was at like $6. Like the first day it was in play, it faded. Yeah.
$3. It was January 25, $3.
Cost had like last year had times when it would like pop and like trade and make money, and then it's no longer in play after that day. And all of a sudden, cost has been in play for the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, what cost is you can't really go size, because if you get caught on the wrong side of the trade, there's no way you can stop out with 30,000.
And the halts too. You're gonna get stuck in a halt.
If you try to stop out with 10,000 shares, you're gonna cause a halt after.
you're gonna cause the halt, get stuck in the halt, and lose 50% because of the halt.
Right. Another halt.
Yeah, cost was actually a good stock for me over the last year. I've traded it so many times. It's always been like a low volume pop and drop kind of play. So when it came on my scans again, I was thinking the same thing, and that's why I went with more size and I got squeezed out. But in this market, you've got to be so careful as a short seller.
Chris, in this kind of market, would you ever be open to going long?
I did. I actually banked on some GME longs following your plays, man. I wouldn't do that. So
yeah.
I'm still more short biased. Like I just focus on the lower volume ones that nobody's really paying attention to. But if something picks up steam, picks up volume, then I'm quickly to get out. I'm not going to fight it.
Yeah.
At least whoever is a short seller, there's one thing staying short, and there's another thing realizing I'm not going to long it, but I'm not going to stay short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a perma bear right now. Yeah. Don't be a perma bear, man.
Yeah.
No one drowned because it fell into the water. You only drown if you stay in the water, right?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, you got to be like multifaceted, man. Just like I've if you guys notice in chat, I've taken a few short positions too, and it's like I need to get just like not focus on just one like pretty much just having like just one bias throughout. So maybe like take a few shorts here and there. Just like you guys that are short, there are times when you can the easy money's made to the long side, so you can kind of like switch. But like my bread and butter is mostly long.
Right. This market we're in right now is definitely not favoring short sellers. No way. If you're short, you got to be really careful. Right, Chris? This is not a market for short sellers.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, everything is so bullish, and like I said before, guys are chasing at higher and higher levels, and they're not really getting punished for that.
Yeah. So what I did is I sized down this week actually.
Yeah, me too.
I realized that this week is the week for short sellers. I did some long plays, but whenever I went short, I sized down. I mentioned it on Twitter, and I actually had my best day my best day ever last week with small size. But you cannot go big size short. It's really dangerous unless it's really obvious. Because that I'm gonna give you an example. The GME dropped from 400 to 100, right? It reclaimed everything back to 300, and within minutes. I would expect it to go down back to 200, 175 after that kind of flush, but it didn't.
Yeah, definitely a lot of strength on these stocks. Like BTFD movement is strong. Guys are just buying the dips, and and you can bank. I've seen it every time. Like every time GME halts down, it like instantly skips back up. And I was thinking, just go long, just go long.
The same with AMC.
Just buy this shit, and I just couldn't do it.
Chris, the buy button is there. It doesn't bite you.
You guys should see my DAS layout. I have short hotkey buttons but no buy ones. I need to add those.
Dude, come on.
I gotta type it in manually when I want to buy. It's just.
So you don't have a hotkey for buying?
No.
So you don't cover, because covering is basically the same as buy. You never cover.
Well, what I do is I have this DAS code for just closing a position. So it closes it whether you're short or long.
I have that as well. I have that as well. But I have buy, sell, and then I have like you close your position whether you're long or short. Then I have a panic key. panic.
Yeah.
If I'm in like 5 stocks and everything goes in the wrong direction, I can't manage it all. I just get the hell out of every single position and then I reassess the situation.
Yeah. I have a stop out, a panic key. And mine is escape, like just the escape key. So if I hit escape, everything just sells out. And I have like a buy and then like sell 3/4, sell half, and then sell everything.
Do you ever run into conflicts with the escape key? Because escape is functional for other things, like closing programs and stuff. That's why I try to avoid using those keys. You ever run into a problem like that?
No.
I never use single hotkeys. It's always a combination of like control or something.
Yeah, just make sure it's not Alt F4.
No, I use
Control Alt Delete.
Control Alt Delete.
I use escape just to cancel my orders. I use escape.
Okay.
Just without control escape. I don't think you can even use control escape. I've tried it before, or even shift escape. You can use.
Speaking of all this escape stuff, how does Max not escape on his position the other day? I was listening to you live, man, and seriously, like mad props for that. That takes some serious diamond hands to pull that off. Maybe you can like talk about that a bit for us.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to address is it's funny reading the comments. I always love reading the comments, and it's always the same people. First of all, the people that gave me support and learned a thing or two, thank you for that. And I'm really glad that the video helped you guys in some way and improved your knowledge as a trader, and that's really what I want to see. That's the whole point why I make those videos. But secondly, it's so funny to see the comments of the guys that say, oh, you didn't have any risk management, or you're gonna blow up doing this or whatever. And Chris, you could attest to this. You get the same comments, man, the same shit every time, right? And my response is simple, man. Like, I've been trading for almost 10 years. I started with $6,000 in March of 2011. And guess what, man? I'm still freaking here, right? I'm still freaking here. So, haven't blown up yet. It's been 10 years, so but I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, having the confidence and the conviction of doing the same trade. I mean, those of you guys that have been following me on YouTube, Twitter over the years know that I've been taking the same exact trade like a million times, right? You guys see me do it on Elfin, where it crashed from 140 and it halted, resumed at 59. I nailed that trade. I banked $75,000, which was my best day at the time when I released that video. You see me do the same trade on SPI, which led to my best day ever, $356,000 in one day. You saw me do the same trade on BPTH, where I started that day with only $35,000 in my account, and I made $51,000 on that account in one day trading BPTH, so I made over 100%. So experience, having conviction, having the data. I always talk about journaling. If you guys aren't journaling or tracking your trades, you're doing yourself a big disservice. And I know all you guys, I know Chris has a very extensive, his journal is not more complex than mine, to be completely honest. The guy's got like crazy Excel spreadsheets that tracks all this data, statistics and all that. But you need to have some sort of journal or data. That way, when you enter a trade, you know what to expect, or at least have a very good idea or picture of what to expect. Because without that, it's kind of like walking into a forest without a map, right? Where the fuck are you? Like, you're just lost.
It all boils down to experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I knew what to expect. I know that a stock dropping from 500 down to 100 is probably going to bounce, especially if it's not tanking because of bad news. I know some people in the comments say, like, what if it kept tanking, man? What if it went to zero and you would have like went bankrupt? Well, here's the thing. In my 10 years of trading, I've never seen a stock that tanked from like the highs straight down with no bounce, unless it was like really bad news, like bankruptcy, fraud, investigation, something like that, right? So in the case of GME, we all know there's 140% short float. We all know there's a lot of shorts obviously stuck. We all know there's big players involved. The fact that there are big players involved made me think that it was unlikely to halt, to be completely honest. And that's another argument that people were saying, like, what if they halt the stock?
T12.
Well, yeah, what if they T12 it, right? Okay, fine. Good argument. Let's talk about it. So why did I think that's not going to T12? I think it's not going to T12, at least for the time being, is because there's too many big players still in it. Right? There's hedge funds that are long the stock just as well as there are hedge funds going short. There's a big battle between the long hedge funds and the short hedge funds. That's a thing that a lot of people seem to discount. They keep thinking that it's RobinHood or Wallstreetbets versus Melvin Capital or whatever, right? I think it's a lot bigger than that, because you can see during the trading when they restricted the trading from Robinhood TDA, there are still people buying the stock, right? There's still people buying the stock. That's short coverage. There's also hedge funds going long as well. So if they were to halt the stock, all the hedge funds going long, they're going to get screwed. So they're not going to let
billions of dollars.
Exactly. They're not going to let that happen. Those hedge funds are not going to let that happen. So until all of those guys are out, then maybe they'll T12 it. But while the stock is still in play, in my honest opinion, I don't think they're going to T12 it. But once the stock probably tanks, yeah. Like if you guys recall, Elfin, right? Elfin was a blatant scam, fraud of
It was a fraud.
Right. It was a blatant fraud. Right. It was a blatant fraud of a stock. But that did not halt on its first run. It actually halted on its second run. If you guys recall, it halted with a T12 on its second run when it got repumped in like March or April or something like that. So, you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but if you have enough data and you have enough like experience to know what's likely to happen and you're not going in blind, then you can manage it accordingly and trade it accordingly. Now, with respect to the actual trade itself, yeah, like it was a tricky spot because I wasn't aware of the 3% thing. I don't know if you guys were aware of that either. Did you guys know about that rule?
Oh, it's 5%. It's 5% for me.
It's 3%. No, it's 3% all across. It's a market thing. It's not a broker thing.
Oh, are you sure?
The reason why we weren't aware of that was because we were familiar with trading cheap small cap stocks below $50.
Oh, you're talking about like putting an order above the ask or the bid?
Correct.
Yeah. You can't do it. I thought it was 5% though.
I know, but at $50 or above, that decreases to 3%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either, and I got screwed basically. Yeah.
I never knew that. Can you post a link?
Yeah, I'll post it. Yeah, I'll post. If you watch my YouTube video, it's there. But the rule basically is if the stock is $50 or above, you cannot place an order 3% below the bid or 3% above the ask.
And that's not a broker thing; it's a market.
It's a market thing. Yes,
Wow.
Yeah, and that basically costed me $2 million if you think about it. Because if I was able to stop out of my position at 200 as planned, I wouldn't have been able to add with bigger size at the bottom. So I would have made like $2 million. So that was a pretty big lesson for me to learn. But just take note of that, guys. If a stock is over $50. And this is pretty shitty. If the stock has a spread of like $2, let's say the stock's at $50, like 3% is like what? 1.5 points, right? So, 1.5 minus 50 is what? 48.5. Imagine if the spread is bigger than 1.5. You can't sell.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
So you try to sell like $4 or $5 below the bid.
Yeah. So I think the price at the time when I started trying to do this was at 200, right? So, you're doing a 3% at 6 points, right? So I was probably putting like limit like 190 or 191, 192, and it was giving me error. And then I don't know if you know how DAS works, but when it shows the error message, you have to click on it to see what the error message says, which means it's
expanded.
So it's an additional click, which means that you're losing another like 2 seconds, right?
Every second is $1 million.
Every second is like a lot of freaking money. You're losing a lot of money with every passing second. So by the time I clicked on it and on top I got to read the message, that's another 2 seconds gone. By the time I finished reading the message, the stock halted. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So this is what people don't understand. This is what the people in the comments section on my YouTube video that keep saying, "Oh, where's your risk management, bro?" Like that, they don't understand that. Obviously, it's my fault. I didn't know the rules, right? When you're playing the game, you should know the rules of the game. I'm not saying that is not a mistake. That's true. But if you're in that situation, think about what happens. You click on that thing, it takes 2 seconds. You read the thing. You're like, and then you gotta take another 3 seconds to process what that means. And you can take another 3 seconds to actually put in a new order, cancel the previous order, put a new order. By that time, the stock's halted. It's going to gap down like another 20 points. There you go, Yeah. So, yeah, that's a lesson for me, to you guys, and to all the people that are watching right now, listening to the podcast. Guys, if the stock's over $50, please don't put a limit order below 3%. You're gonna lose your ass like that.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's important to have at least hotkeys just for backup plan. Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, you should. But the thing is, like, if you use a hotkey and if you don't have a hotkey program for that specific scenario, which I didn't, you could be screwed too, right? Because like most of our hotkeys are designed for small caps. We don't usually trade stocks that are like $50, $60, $100, $200. You know what I mean? So
right, but I have hotkeys programmed on the bid, on the ask, below the bid, or below the ask, like for 10, 50
yeah,
cents.
but
it wouldn't really help. 10 cents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Especially with size.
So that's what I'm saying. So you needed a hotkey specifically programmed for GameStop. So I didn't have that. That's my fault again. You know, we don't have like a limit like -2, right? Bid -2. We most of us don't have that.
That would be suicide in small caps.
Exactly. So we weren't prepared for that scenario. You know, I mean, think about it. GameStop went from whatever was 50 to like freaking 500. So you know, next time, lesson learned. We'll add that. But the rules also change, I think, when the stock goes over 100. I think over 100, it goes down to like 1%. I have to check on that. Don't quote me on that. But I think if it goes over 100 or 200, I think it goes down to like 1% or something. Maybe it's 500. I don't know. But it gets really, really low at some point. There's another tier. I'll check on that. If you guys see my video, you guys might know what it is. But
that's probably the same bullshit as stock will hold every 15 cents if it closed.
It is the same. It is the same bullshit because the guys that created that rule didn't take into consideration stocks like GME that are very volatile, very spready, that at times can be very difficult to sell due to liquidity issues, halts. They didn't account for that. They were thinking of the Teslas and, you know, those kind of stocks, right? They weren't thinking about the supernova outlier GME scenario, you know. So yeah, hopefully you guys don't make that same mistake because it was pretty awful. But you know what? I made it out alive. Lived to tell the tale. Made a video about it. Made $1 million. I'm up $2 million on the month. That was my best trade ever, best week ever, and my best month ever.
Congrats, man.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
That's insane. You got to tell me what is it like to make 7 figures in a day? That's like. That's insane.
You know, to be completely honest, like, okay, there's obviously going to be a dopamine rush. You know, it feels pretty awesome. It's a nice achievement. It feels like you reached like Mount Everest for the first time. But like, I feel as traders, you need to be desensitized from all this and be detached from the outcome, detached from the money.
If I'm wrong, Max, you probably felt better when you had your first 5-figure day or 6-figure day.
Yeah. Because yes, because
as crazy as it sounds, but it's really true.
Absolutely. Yes. You know why? Because that's like the biggest jump, right? The biggest jump.
Right.
From going like
much easier to go from 100K to $1 million
than it is from
1,000 to 10,000.
Yeah. But see, but if you're going from like 100K to $1 million, you probably are already doing decently to begin with. But if you were going from like 1,000 to 10,000, that means that you basically went from being like beginner status to like intermediate status. You're basically starting to go from being, you know, relatively not doing well or just doing okay to starting to do good. So that's a big jump, you know. I remember, the first time I made 5 figures, I was actually at work, you know, trying to hide trades from my boss, you know, with the shady the screen glare protector thing, you know, the ones where you're literally standing next to the guy, you can't even see what's on his freaking screen, right? I had one of those, and it was one of those awesome penny stocks pumps. I know Mark's very familiar with those.
APS.
Those
APS guys.
Yeah. Remember when
Victory Mark.
Yes, and remember when we were like testing out? I don't know if you did this, but I definitely did this. I literally tested out which email server would get the email the fastest. Hotmail. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. So Hotmail, Gmail. I was like Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo. All right, which one gets the fastest? I signed up with all 3 accounts.
All 3 of them. And then you have them like opened up. Like sometimes I will have like all 3 like opened up on my Windows and like refresh really quick.
Yeah.
That was just a game of luck more than actual more than know how to trade. That was luck.
It literally was the fastest fingers win. Literally, like whoever got the emails first.
That wasn't about skill, I guess.
Well, you still have to execute the order. So if you were slow with the keyboard and the mouse, then you're fucked no matter what. Even if you get even if you get the email first, if you're slow, you're fucked.
Was that about the promoters promoting all these kind of penny stock?
Yeah. They were getting paid
back then.
They were getting paid to promote them, right? So like these shitty companies would pay these promoters, and maybe they could pay them like $500,000 or something like that, right? And they'll pay them to promote the stock for a certain number of days or.
How long ago was that?
This was like 2012.
Wow. I think they got busted in 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. And like what would happen is if you signed up to their service, right, you get like the alerts on your phone or your email, and a lot of times, by the time you get the alert and you start trying to place the order, the stock is already kind of moved. Then, like in OTC land, it's really hard to get fills, right? Like if you're just in the bid, the ask, you're trying to buy, it's like it's so hard to get fills. So what would it was like a guessing game to kind of figure out what stocks that these guys were trying to promote before everybody else got the newsletter. So one way to know was the day before the promotion. If you see a stock tank like 50% from the highs, if you see a penny stock tank like 50%, that means that was probably a sign that the next day that was going to be the one they were going to like promote. A lot of times that was what happened. So what I would do back then is I would do a scan. The day before they promoted, I would do a scan and find out the stocks that tank, like the ones that tank like 50, 60%. And I'll have those on the watch list. And when the market opens the next day and I started to see some kind of volume, bam, I buy it. And a lot of times those were the ones that would start getting promoted because I would buy the stock. And by the time the promoters started like sending out those emails and like saying, okay, this is the stock we're promoting today, right? Or this is the hot new stock. I was already in the stock, right? And then it's like a lot of people are like trying to get in, and it's like this.
So
like
everyone went long back then. No one short.
Yeah, everyone was long. Everyone was long.
Yeah, I mean it was hard to short.
It's hard to get short.
Yeah. Yeah, if a stock is 5 cents or 10 cents, you're probably gonna have to get like 50,000 shares to try to short the thing, right? If it's a 10-cent stock and you're trying to get 50,000 shares, that's only $5,000. So are you willing to pay the locates for 50,000 shares just to get $5,000 worth of shorts? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you probably have to get like 200,000 or something like that. So a lot of people, I mean, how many people had 200,000 locates? Because
it wasn't feasible. It wasn't feasible to do that.
It wasn't feasible, to pay for 200,000 shares to locate.
How was your transition from OTCs to small caps? What was it like? A totally different?
Man, it was different.
Similar.
Oh, it was different because the OTC market, it's kind of like it moved slower than the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is like you have to be quick, you have to be nimble, you have to get information, analyze the information, and execute. Whereas with OTC, it's like the stock moved a lot slower than with NASDAQs, and it was kind of like, and then you can kind of like game the market makers with OTC because like there was a certain route that you could route the orders, and you get filled a lot faster than the other guys. The other guys that are trying to buy with like Thinkorswim or Schwab or something like that. There was a certain route that you could route the stock to, and you would get filled like instantly. And they disabled that route after a while because people were abusing it.
Well, did you buy? I bought pre-market using Arca. I don't know if you did that.
Yeah, I did. I did pre-market as well.
Yeah.
There was this one particular ECN that a friend of mine showed me, and the short trader was offering it back, and then they just stopped. It started with an E. It was like ETF something. It was like a completely different ECN. But if you were to use that ECN to buy a penny stock, you would get filled instantly. It was like a whole different route. And then it just stopped working. They disabled it. I don't know what happened. They probably
got taken out because you took them out.
Man, I used to abuse that ECN, man. Like honestly, I would like abuse it. It was crazy, man. Those OTC.
Oh, dude,
like,
those are fun. Those are fun times, man. And those of you guys that are OG followers of my YouTube channel, if you guys go back to, I actually started this YouTube channel in 2013 before like a lot of these gurus even existed, by the way. So I'm actually pretty OG. Don't let this young, handsome, pretty face fool you. I'm actually a vampire, like 100 years old. Check out my YouTube channel, my old videos for OG followers, 2013. A lot of them are all OTC stocks, including the FNMA play. And also like a video on how to scan for these OG penny stocks that Mark's talking about right now. Some pretty epic shit, man. Pretty epic shit. Mark, I do want to ask you though. You said that you wanted to buy these stocks like before the picks got released. Now here's a good question for you. Did you ever get caught in those fake picks? I don't know if you remember those.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Tell them, man. Tell them.
I got so what they would do is like okay, so there was Awesome Penny Stocks, right? Awesome Penny Stocks, and I think Victory Mark, VM. Those were like the two guys. They were like the two big guys, awesome penny stock. And then you had some of these other services that said, hey, we're gonna, if you pay us, or if you subscribe to our service, we can get you the awesome penny stocks picks before they release it. And a lot of times, when you subscribe to the service, you would get a pick, but it'll turn out to be like the fake pick, because you'll get the pick, and it was like awesome penny stocks would release their picks, and it was like totally different. So now you're like stock bag holding a certain stock when the real action was in it's
a double whammy.
You know, or sometimes like awesome penny stocks, what they started doing was, you know, they would get paid, and they'll release a pick, and like instead of supporting the pick for days, right? They just let just pull the rug, and like the pick will just die the same day. So now it'll be like a bunch of bag holders holding a stock. Worthless.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get out on the bid. Like there are times when the stock is falling and you start trying to hit the bid, you can't get out.
Yeah, because everyone's trying to sell. Everyone's trying to sell at the same time.
Everyone's trying to sell, so your order's right there, and the market maker will hold your order.
Yeah.
And like you eventually get filled. When they release your order and fill you, it's like the bottom.
Yep.
And then the stock starts reversing.
One thing about OTCs that a lot of people don't know, like all the new kids on the block that weren't around during the OTC times, is that you can't cancel your freaking orders in time like you can in Nasdaq. I don't know, Mark, you remember that, right? If you're hitting the bid and you don't get filled, it takes like a freaking minute or two to cancel.
Yeah. Or sometimes they'll do some scammy shit, like they'll accept your order, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to sell, let's say the bid is like 10 cents, right? And the offer is like 11 cents, right? And you're trying to sell at 10 cents, the broker will accept your order, right? And it'll be right there, but they won't execute it. They'll accept it, and you can't cancel the order. It's just sitting right there, and this thing goes from 10 to 9 to 8. And you can't get out. You can't get out. There, and then when they finally execute your order, they execute it at the low, at like 7 cents, and then the stock starts going right back up. So.
Yeah, because do you have any clue what these guys are talking about? They're talking Spanish to me.
Oh no!
I'm glad I wasn't around for all that stuff.
I wasn't around back then.
Like a nightmare, guys. You can't get filled. I mean, it's already bad enough.
You can't cancel your order. You can't get filled. That's not right.
Me and Mark have been on both sides of the fence, man. We've been around for a while, man. It's very nostalgic that we're talking about this because, like I said, man, it was like right now what you guys see in the Nasdaqs, right, with these listed names, like you see the scammy shit that's going on, right? But like back then, you guys gotta understand that OTCs are not even regulated. You know, you're talking about pink sheet stocks.
That was way
they're not regulated. They're not transparent stocks. You can't look up. You can't do any sort of fundamental analysis whatsoever on these things. You have no idea what the freaking share structure is at times. You know, can you imagine trading a stock where I don't know if the float's like 1 million, 5 million, or 500 million? Like, can you trade something like that? That's basically what we were doing, and believe it or not, we made a living off of that. You know, I quit my job trading penny stocks, believe it or not. I traded OTCs for the first 3 years of my trading career, and I made enough. I think at the time I was at $320,000 in profits from trading these OTC stocks, and I quit my job as a result of that. So it was possible.
What was your reaction when OTCs died?
Oh, dude, my heart was broken, man, because I literally had just quit my job, and I thought I'd be trading the same OTC system for the rest of my life, whereas, you know, at least make millions off of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then within quitting my job, and this is a very, very interesting story here. So within months of quitting my job, the Awesome Penny Stocks guys got arrested, along with all the other promoters associated with Awesome Penny Stocks. And I'm like, oh shit, did I make the biggest mistake of my life or what? Because next thing you know, like my edge in my system based off of what I was doing that was working is now just thrown out the window. To this day, OTC markets are nowhere near, not even close. I would say that
you're like a newbie.
It's not even close. Yeah, it's not even like 10
at all.
Yeah, so
I told you, like when I started trading, it was like 2012. Like I remember the first stock that I bought I actually bought two stocks. The first one was a GTIM, I think. It was like a restaurant stock. And then I bought another one that my friend had told me about. And I remember holding those stocks and they weren't really doing anything. And then I was watching all these OTC stocks go up 100%, 200%. I'm like, I'm holding these NASDAQ stocks and they're not doing anything. And then, you know, I started researching, and I took like $4,000 of my grad school tuition refund, and I poured it into CBIS. I think CBIS was a cannabis OTC stock that was pumped, and I think I quadrupled the money in like a week or something, and I was hooked after that.
Yeah,
it was like OTC pumps. I was like, wow, is this easy?
Yeah,
and I started doing, you know, you start like when you come into the trading and you get a win, right? You start to do the math in your head. You're like, okay, if I took $4,000 and turn it into 25,000 in a week,
yeah,
what happens if I take 100,000?
Yeah,
Hell, I can turn it into 2 million in 48. And you start doing the math, but it doesn't work like that, you know?
No, it doesn't.
So I'm thinking like, man, okay, all these guys that are millionaires, why don't they just take $1 million and put it in some OTC stock, turn it into 100 million?
See,
you know?
that's a testament to how much we've grown as traders. Because I had the same faulty logic. I was like, you know, if I buy this 0001 stock, if it just goes to $1, I'm a fucking trillionaire, right? Like,
yeah, I'm rich,
dude. I literally bought like 10 million shares of RFMK. I don't know if you guys remember that one, RFMK. When it was like 000 something, and I was like, man, if this thing just goes to $1, I'm done. Yeah, I think it still is, dude. It's like 0001 probably now. Like it's a joke. I literally was stuck in that stock for a year. I couldn't sell because there was no bid.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is so crazy.
I see some guys are trading OTCs right now again. That's what I noticed on Twitter.
Yeah, but they're all like swing trades. You can't day trade them anymore. There's no.
It's a totally different ball.
It's not. It's the liquidity is like probably 10% of what it used to be, man. It's not even close. Yeah.
A lot of people swing trading.
Yeah, all of the previous OTC guys all moved to small caps. That's where the money went.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is.
But those are fun times, man. I look back as like, you know, just being starting out with like a fresh face and like, you know, you're naive to the trading game, but it was just fun. Like it was so fun. Like I remember bragging to my friends. I'm like, dude, like I just turned this, you know, my tuition refund into like 25 G's. Like yeah. I'm like bragging. It's like, you know, it's so easy. It was so easy back then. You know, and then they just start cracking down on it, and everything just went to shit.
Yeah,
you know, it was just, you know, it wasn't the same anymore, man.
How did you guys in chat? You guys nailed GME cost? You guys make money? I wonder how people if people were profitable on GME.
Yeah, let us know in chat. Let us know in chat if you guys banked this week, because this week was off the charts. One of the most.
If you blew up. It's probably sad, but this market, if you were caught on the wrong side of the trade and you didn't stop out on time, that was really, really, really
Brian
difficult.
Beard looks like he banked on it. Nice. You don't have to bank $1 million, guys. You made like $1,000, $100. It doesn't matter. Dude, money's money. We've all been there. I used to be the $100 a day guy too. Remember that? We've all been there.
This week for me, wow.
Brian Beard, 10K, dude. Nice job, man. Nice. Good shit.
Well, let me say this. If you guys stayed away from GME and AMC, you did a good job as well, because it was really difficult to trade.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I stayed away from GME. I just couldn't handle it. Like when the stock got over like 100 and everything, I'm like, I can't even, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't, you know, when it gets to that level, it's like, I feel like I don't have a handle on it anymore. Now I'm just like at the mercy of, you know, whatever.
What if you do small size?
Yeah, I did that. I mean, I was on the mic one time. Well, actually, I wasn't on the mic, but you were on the mic. And then I remember posting. This wasn't on Friday. I think it was like on Thursday or something. And after the halt, I did like a washout long, and I think you know, I got like 2 points off of it. But I only took like 500 shares.
That's still $1,000.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was like I could have gotten more. I think I got like 3 points. It was like 3 points. But I could have gotten more, maybe like 10 points. But at that point, I was just like, look, this was just a nice dip buy opportunity. I don't wanna try to risk, you know, adding more size to GameStop when I don't really have a handle on the stock. You know, I just don't have a handle on it. You know, stocks like GameStop and like Tesla. I don't like, if you guys notice, like I'm so gung ho on Tesla. I've been gung ho on Tesla for over, you know, freaking like over almost 10 years now. I mean, I love Tesla, but I've never really day traded Tesla before. Like that's not my wheelhouse. I don't trade stocks like Tesla.
Same. I hardly day traded Tesla. It's just
I would swing trade Tesla.
I guess I'm the weird one.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know,
I'll tell you why. I day traded Tesla twice, and the second time I got caught in that infinite dump where it didn't bounce, and I lost a ton of money. And it is gonna happen. Like 1 out of 10, it's gonna just tank and not gonna bounce. You're gonna lose a lot of money. But I just said no, it's not for me anymore. Just let me stay out of it. I'm gonna let Max bank $1 billion on it. Not for me. Not for me.
Yeah, I think it's important to stay in your lane and trade what you know.
Right.
Like even though GME was running, like what I was doing and what I was advising my guys to do is just focus on the side pumps, because we can predict the actions more reliably of these smaller cap plays that are moving in sympathy of GME, but we don't actually have to trade GME. So it's kind of like the head of the snake. As soon as that gets cut off, then we know that the end of the chat pumps is near. It kind of happened on Thursday when all of those energy stocks were moving with GBR. It was so much easier to hit the sympathy plays like PED. I think MXC was moving, a few smaller energy stocks, and we were able to hit those more predictably instead of like taking on the beast itself. So just focus on what you know, guys. If you don't have an edge on those monstrous setups that are just going ballistic, then just focus on the lower volume side pumps that don't have that many eyes on it. So I think that's the safest way to tackle these plays.
Yeah, when GME is gonna die, everything else will probably die. Costs, AMC,
they'll die. But I think the next round of stocks that they're targeting is gonna pick up.
Dude,
like the next hot sector is gonna come flying through.
They're targeting silver. You gotta watch silver. The futures are already up, and like silver is like the one that these guys have been talking about for a while, and that would be really interesting. I'm actually gonna watch the ETF, SLV. I'm going to watch it this week because it could have a lot of opportunities, both from like a technical standpoint. Because if you look at the chart on silver, it looks poised for a breakout.
Yeah,
it really looks poised
at $28.
And like another thing is it's shorted. So JP Morgan has held a short position on the silver. There's actually rumors of price suppression going back like years. Going back years, like a price suppression on silver, and those guys, like, they control the market. So they're Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan. From what I've heard, they have a huge short position on silver, and they've been suppressing silver. So these guys are out there. They're coming out in full force this week to try to squeeze.
Do you really
silver.
think silver can like go 100%?
Hey,
50%, something like that. Has the same potential.
Hey, like silver is a big market, but like people didn't think the same about Nokia. I mean, Nokia's got like 5 billion shares.
Right.
The float of Nokia is like 5 billion, and the thing went over 100% in like a day. So never underestimate
these guys.
The power.
How many people are in this Wallstreetbets group? Like 100,000, a million? How many people?
Millions.
2.5
Millions.
Whoa, okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
2.5 million and counting.
Yeah.
So
the scary thing is their buying power is increasing too with all of the wins. So they've got some bloated accounts and buying power. So watch out, guys.
It's stimulus checks. Stimulus checks.
Yeah, stimmy checks.
I was saying, like, if you thought
they have like a leader who's guiding them, or
no, it's just fully like, it's like a group, everybody together, and it's like, hey, YOLO, just go full force, man.
It's
YOLO.
more than a group, guys. Wow. It's like a cult.
Yeah, now it's
watch out for these guys.
It started out like it started out as a small group of people like last year, and then over time it just started growing, and like it's like these funds are taking notice of the group, and you have like the politicians are talking about it now. Like it's
that makes a little bit more sense, because I was thinking to myself, I mean, how many buying power how many shares they have to buy in order to get the stock up that high? But with 5 million people buying only 10 shares, basically the float is locked.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy if you think about it, because you're not talking about some Joe Schmo running a chat room with a couple thousand people. You're talking about a message board with millions of people millions of official members, but I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot more that are reading that aren't official members. So you gotta inflate that number a little bit. Wow. If you think about it, that's insane.
I actually stand corrected. It's not 2.5 million. It's 7.6 million and counting.
Yeah. So there you go.
Wow. The biggest thing what I saw this week was Citron quitting shorts. That was like, wow.
Oh, that was pretty crazy. Well, let me ask you guys this: do you guys really think that he's gonna stop shorting?
Oh no,
he's probably not gonna announce it.
No. Yeah, you guys really think that he's really gonna stop shorting?
He can't announce any shorts because basically every single short he's gonna announce, the Wallstreetbets people, they'll jump on it, and before you know it, they'll blow him out. So
yeah,
as a short seller myself, once you go down the dark side, there's no going back. So he's gonna be a lifelong short seller. He's just not gonna advertise his position so they can be targeted. He's gonna do it more quietly, or if anything, what he's gonna do is he's gonna post these long biased articles
and then short the
stocks up, and then short it once they get pumped up. So
dude, you guys need to. It's funny you guys are talking about it, man. You guys need to watch Billions, because like pretty much everything you're saying is what goes on Billions. The games, like these games, the way these hedge fund managers try to hide the positions. Oh my God! Like they play games, man. So you gotta watch it.
Does he disclose his positions when he covers, or everything is confidential? Citron, does he disclose anything? Because he made like in the last year or two, he hasn't had a single good short call that I can remember.
Yeah, he's down. I don't know if he. I mean, he discloses his shorts, right?
Right, but he doesn't say where he covered or where he stopped out.
No, I don't think. I think he just says out.
Oh,
you know, I think I don't think they have to disclose where they covered and where they shorted, but I think they have to disclose if they're short and like where you know where they're like they have to say if they're short and if they're out the position.
He said he stopped out the majority of his GameSpot short of $90, and he has still a position left. So I don't know how big of a position he has left, but it's pretty brutal. From 40 to 400 short. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be there.
I think his best short pick was Lumber Liquidators. That was like the best a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah, Double L, yeah.
Yeah, it basically tanked. That was like a beauty. Like it was easy. I mean, it was easy to borrow then. And then this thing just kept tanking. If you were shorting this thing, it was just easy. You get like.
But he had so many bad calls, really. But
recently, his picks are just kind of like. I mean, people started taking notice of it, and then you know some of these people came together and tried to squeeze it.
Yeah. So is it really him making bad calls, or is he kind of manifesting the bad calls by making it public and they know that he's shorting it? You know what I mean?
Probably a combination of
So I mean, it's you kind of doomed to fail in that situation, or inevitably doomed to fail sooner or later. But the funny thing was, he's been doing it for 20 years supposedly, right? And now it's only in 2020, 2021 where he's starting to get screwed. So you know, props to him for keeping it under wraps for that long. I guess maybe the advent of the internet and information being readily accessible, you know, brought about.
Right, because 10 years ago there wasn't Reddit with 7 million people.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a thing.
Exactly. So I guess it's just not viable. That's why this whole saga has been very revolutionary, right? The whole internet has essentially bridged the common man, like the retail investor, with these hedge funds. And now like the regular person behind a computer screen sitting at home, they can actually form large enough numbers to create a force to lift the stock and create a force that's enough to compete with the hedge funds.
Chris, as a short seller, getting stopped out or squeezed out, do you feel bad for these hedge funds losing billions of dollars?
No. Would they feel bad for the small guy?
No, absolutely not. No.
For 20, 30, 40 years, they've been taking advantage of the little guys who didn't have the same advantages as they do. But I think the playing
right
field
now they feel the pain.
Now.
The pain we feel at times, they feel it right now. And they can't stop out with 20 million shares. No such a thing.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of justice right now.
But these guys, though, like you can't really feel too bad for them because they're still going to get compensated either way. I mean,
of course.
You know the example you guys said before with the GoFundMe, right? Getting bailed out. But these guys are getting bailed out too, right? Like, 0.72. They invest.
Oh yeah,
whatever
they're getting is GoFundMe on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. They just talk to their billionaire friends and say, "Hey, buddy, can you help me out here? I'm in trouble." If that doesn't work, they go straight to RobinHood and say, "Hey guys, you can't allow any more buying of this stock."
Dude, they got infinite cheat codes that they can use to get out alive, dude. We don't have the luxury of having those cheat codes.
They have so many escape clauses, but the
they
little
can
guy,
afford to blow
up. You're done. You have no choice.
If we blow up, we blow up. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. They have, and then another thing you guys are forgetting. They have their fee structure 2 and 20. So they're still going to get compensated 2% of whatever assets under management and then 20% of whatever profits they generate. So in the event that they don't get that 20%, right, because they had a bad quarter or something or like a bad year, there's always that 2%. You know, the 2% is a flat fee. They're still gonna make money regardless.
At the end of the game, the CEO is still gonna go home.
Don't
regardless if you blow up.
Yeah, don't feel sorry for them. They're still gonna make their mortgage payments on their Hampton mansion.
You know what it reminds me of is that BPTH squeeze. It was a guy who was actually trading for a prop firm. It wasn't his money.
Yeah.
So this is the same problem. You're trading money that's not your own, and you're so reckless with it, and that's why these things happen.
How can they be reckless? They don't have risk management.
Well, they're people. They're people too, like me and you. They have emotions. They succumb to greed.
I think they have big
supposedly
egos
they're
too.
the hedge fund. They're dealing with billions of dollars. They can't afford.
Well, if you read the BPTH article, and you guys in chat, you guys should probably read that article. If you guys have the link to it posted in chat. The market maker was actually like going behind his boss's back, taking those trades. So he was just feeling the FOMO like all of us, right? And just getting greedy. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a killing on this trade. My boss is not going to find out about it. All he's going to see is at the end of the day.
Max, when was that? Can you, what story was that?
BPTH, man. It was 2019.
Oh yeah.
The stock that I banked the 50 G's on.
Yeah, the market maker that blew up. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So he was short like 800,000 shares, and BPTH was like a 1-something million float. And essentially what happened was, if you read the entire story, he was taking quote-unquote illicit trades or whatever behind his boss's back that were beyond the firm's risk parameters. And that's why he got sued. He got sued by the firm. He's in.
What this story tells me is that the big people, the hedge fund guys, that they manage billions of dollars, they're not much different than we are.
Dude, I honestly think
I always thought that they are like really holy.
No.
Things we don't know.
No.
The same person I am, and I'm.
No. They have a lot bigger advantages than you just by virtue of their connections and the tools they have. Yeah. But I think as people, as traders, some of us might even be better traders than these guys, to be completely honest. They're just banking because they have access to all this information.
They have advantages we don't have.
Yeah.
Like we're banking and we're handicapped. So that's
exactly. So we've been, baptism by fire for us. We got thrown to the wolves. Where these guys, they got all the cheat codes like Chris said. They can average down, ask their buddy, hey, I need $2.7 billion to average up my short that I'm blowing up on. I wish I had that. I wish all of us would have had. But yeah, that's just not something we have the luxury of having. So
plus it pays to be not uncertain. You guys well, you need to watch Billions to know that quote.
All right. Mark said it 3 times. I'm gonna watch Billions. All right. How many seasons? How many seasons have it been?
How many episodes?
They're in. I think they're in season 5 now. Season 5 would have completed if it wasn't for if it wasn't for like the coronavirus, so they stopped shooting.
Right.
But there's a quote on there. Like if you're watching, it's called not being. What's called? I'm not uncertain. I am not uncertain. It's something. You just watch it. Like you know exactly what I'm talking about when I said that quote. I'm not uncertain.
How many episodes per season is it?
It's I think 10.
Okay, so there's 50 episodes. Okay, that's doable.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch. You're gonna be busy.
I'd probably watch it in like a week.
Yeah.
I watched Ozark in like 2 weeks. I mean,
Ozark was an addiction.
Yeah, Ozark was pretty good.
Yeah. Are they gonna go for another season?
They are. The next season's the last season.
Wow. Yeah, they have to complete it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
And I can't wait though. I can't wait for like the new season to come out. Like, I think they're going to have to include this whole GameStop thing in there. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then see who blows up, and like it'll be really fun, man. Like these guys, these hedge fund managers pay attention to retail. Like you might not think so. Like they pay attention to everything. Like they're in the same chat room.
Of course they do, because that's how they get paid. They take money from retail. That's their living.
They're in the same chat rooms. They're in the same forums. Of course. They look at like retail order flow, retail sentiment, and I feel like people like Point72, Steve Cohen, like. First of all, Steve Cohen, he started out trading just like we did. Like he was a glorified day trader pretty much, And if you watch his history, he was always like in small caps. And even now that he's a hedge fund, he trades small cap stocks. He's one of the richest hedge fund guys. I mean, the guy's worth like 15 billion, but he trades small cap stocks, and like he pays what I think RobinHood. Yeah, he's paying RobinHood to get access to like the retail order flow. So if he can see where the retail is, is trading and all of that, he can take the other side of the trade, So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not surprising, to be completely honest. I mean these hedge fund guys, these whales, if you will, they're just there to take advantage of retail schmucks. I mean it even perpetuates the whole idea of all of this by people like RobinHood, brokers like RobinHood and TDA and all those mainstream brokers that are just selling retail order flow to these guys. They're literally just feeding these sharks. It's very unfair.
Citadel owns a part of RobinHood. How does it work? They have some sort of connection with RobinHood. No,
they pay for
their routes. Yeah, their route.
Right.
They're
the biggest customer. Right?
RobinHood's orders route to Citadel. So there's that's why there's the conflict of interest there with RobinHood and the whole Melvin Capital fiasco. Is that obviously Citadel is they partly own Melvin Capital, and now RobinHood is in the center stage of this whole incident. What do? Right? Do they take the sides of their backers with Citadel, or did they take the side of their customers? And it seems like so far, again, speculation, but it seems like they're taking the side of Citadel. Yeah,
they're gonna take the side of
they're gonna have to answer for this one day, for sure.
Well, we all know they might have shot themselves in the foot already, as it is.
Yeah, it's they're trying to IPO. Man, I don't know how that's gonna work, man. A lot of people are gonna be closing. Actually, a lot of people have closed accounts with RobinHood and going to Webull.
Webull. Well, Webull is emerging as the big winner out of this.
Man, I'm serious. This is crazy. But then Webull is gonna play the side of like getting the customers and everything. Eventually, when they're gonna succumb to like
the same. They're gonna run into the same problems. They're running into the same problems. Yeah.
Yeah, once the VCs come in there and they get a taste of that money, and everything, and then the VCs, because what the VCs want to do is basically, we're going to fund you, and eventually we want to see a return on our investment, and we're going to try to take you public as well.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually, I mean, they're going to get to a point where they're just going to Webull, they're gonna succumb to the highest bidder, which is the VCs and the Wall Street guys.
Yeah,
they're gonna start selling the order flow,
of course,
from the retail. Eventually, that's what happens.
I mean, it's a business in the end, so it's kind of hard for them. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? How do they do that? Like, how do they just take the interests of their customers at the expense of profits? It's a business. I mean,
Kevin is saying that Webull sucks for day trading. So does Robinhood.
Yeah, they all suck. They all suck. I mean, I would argue that TD Ameritrade and E-Trade sucks for day trading,
Yeah, TD Ameritrade is not good for day trading. Only like if you're swing trading, or like if you're gonna day trade with TD Ameritrade, like you better have like high conviction in your entry, because if the stock is going against you, it's kind of hard to get a feel to stop out quickly, because they're not like a direct access broker.
Yeah,
they internalize a lot of their orders. So when you hit the buy button with TD Ameritrade, or like it's like Schwab and some of these other brokers, they internalize the order. So when you're buying, first thing they do is they take your order and they have to like look in their inventory to see if they have matching orders for your order. So if you're trying to buy, they're going to look in their inventory to see if they have a if they have like an inventory of that same stock to sell to you. If they don't, they basically take your same order and route it to the highest paying avenue, the highest paying ECN, which is what is called payment for order flow.
Yeah.
And they basically take that. That's why your orders, when you send your order, it takes some time to execute.
People think that when they place an order on Robinhood, they get it filled instantly, and no, it's just basically them and the seller. There's like a whole bunch of things really happening behind the scenes. There's a thread on Twitter. I'm gonna post a link that he explains everything that's going on. It's it's worth reading.
Well, you know why these people don't notice. Think about the average person, the average Joe that's on Robinhood. These are guys with like a couple $100 in their account.
I would recommend all of you just to read that Twitter.
If these guys are trading with like 100 shares, do you really think they're gonna notice if their fills suck or not? You won't actually start noticing until you're trading like with thousands of shares.
Yeah. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. So even if you sat down with a typical Robinhood customer, obviously prior to this week's incident, now everyone's bailing, jumping ship. But prior to this, if you sat down with a Robinhood customer and said, "Hey, you should stop using Robinhood because they're selling your order flow and the fills suck and all that," the average Robinhood user is trading with 100 shares anyways. They're not gonna notice.
Well, I started trading with Robinhood, believe it or not. My first account was with Robinhood.
How did that?
Yeah, why don't you share? Yeah, why don't you share that experience with everyone?
How did that work?
So basically, I opened a Robinhood account, and I'm gonna be day trading a Robinhood. So it sounds good. So I was ready with my phone. I think I subscribed to some sort of a chat room.
How much money did you open with?
I opened with a couple thousand. Then I realized that, hey, there's PDT out there, and I have to refund my account if I want to day trade. So I funded my account with 25,000 just to get above PDT. And so I subscribed to a room that they alert buy ABC at $4. So let's say the stock is at $3 right now. So they alerted buy ABC at $4. So basically what I got to do is place a stop limit order, basically. And I had no clue. So I placed a limit order at $4 while the stock was at $3, and I got filled. So I said, "What's going on? Why am I getting filled?" They said buy it at $4, and I placed the limit order at $4. I didn't understand why I got filled when the stock was at $3. Whatever. It was a shit show. But, it was funny. It was funny. I back then,
but that's actually illegal though, because brokers, right, that execute in the market, they're supposed to fill you at the NBBO, right, the National Best Bid on Offer.
Right. So if front run your orders though.
Yeah, but if the best offer, right, because they're supposed to fill you at the lowest offer. If the lowest offer is $3, right? So say for instance the bid is like $280 and the offer is $3, right, which is the best offer in the nation. And you put a limit order to buy at like $350 or like $4, they shouldn't have filled you at $350 or $4. They should have filled you at $3, which was the best, the best offer. And for them to fill you at $350, that's actually illegal. And the only other people I know that that do that or kind of did that are some of these brokers, these like overseas brokers. Or if you're trading in pre-market where there's like a minuscule volume, and it actually happened to me a few times. And I called the broker. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they basically told me that in pre-market they're not required to honor the MBBO.
Wow, who said that?
This is like yeah, no, well, when I used what you call it, SureTrader. When I was trading with SureTrader a few years ago. They said they're not required in pre-market. They're not required to honor the national best bid and offer.
Wow.
And I routed through ARCA. That's the crazy part. I routed through ARCA, and I got a horrible fill. And actually, not just SureTrader. It did that with CMEG, and even in when I used Thinkorswim. It's like a few years ago, the same thing. But the difference was with Thinkorswim, when I got the horrible fill, it wasn't like just ridiculously, far away from the offer, but those ones were like far. And this was in pre-market. They just said, "Hey, we don't have to honor the MBBO in pre-market. You can only You can only, in when the market opens, yeah, we can honor it. But in pre-market, we don't have to honor it. Why? Because a lot of these market makers are just trying to they're trying to test what they call it, test the levels. They're trying to test the bid. So sometimes they'll post fake bids and fake offers to see if somebody will bite. And if seriously, they just post a fake. They would post a fake bid just to see if somebody bites it. And if somebody bites it, right, and depending on the number of size that person has, they can say, okay, well, there's liquidity over there, and we can start walking it up from that bid that person bought.
They're fishing orders. Yeah, they're fishing orders.
That's why it's so important to have a legit broker, not these overseas brokers. They're not regulated.
Well, Short Trader fills you with their inventory, the shares in their inventory. They don't even send their orders to the market. You know that, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So actually, not just wow.
But they're not just Short Trader. A lot of these other brokers, even I would say interactive brokers, right? When I had an account with interactive brokers, they did the same thing. Because I was using their smart route, and with their smart route, they can just fill you through their inventory. If they have inventory, they'll just fill you. And I actually called them. I was like, hey, why is my order I'm not getting the best fills and stuff? I mean, it was fast, but it wasn't the best price.
Yeah.
And they just said, hey, most of the smart orders go through the inventory. So I was like, fuck. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Do you guys in chat have any questions for us? Let me see.
I'll take one question. So the Rocky is asking, how did I find these guys? How did you team up? So Mark and I go way back. I've known Mark since I believe 2012, 2013, and Mark was just a guy that I saw on Twitter, and he was killing it, and I just hit him up. And then we just started talking, man. Simple as that. That's
back when Max used to bank Big Macs.
Back when I used to.
You're banking Big Macs.
Yeah. Big Macs are quite expensive now. Big Macs are like $50,000 now. Inflation. That's inflation, baby.
It's like a whole meal now. Not even a Big Mac. It's like a whole freaking
combo number one. Combo number one, baby. Give me the supersized fries and the large Coke too. But yeah, no, me and Mark go way back, man. Out of all these three guys, Mark I've known the longest. Chris I met like 2 years ago, I believe. Chris was a guy that I noticed was killing it on Twitter as well. Chris is a gunslinger, man. I love his style, man. I like people that are fearless, and Chris exemplifies fearlessness, and I respect that. So I started talking. So that's how I met Chris. And then Shia was a funny story about Shia. I don't know if I should tell her, Shia.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Shia initially joined my room, and he was kind of like a troll-ish character.
Wow. Not exactly. Not exactly.
Not exactly. Okay, but you know what? It makes a story. All right.
No, just say it. Yeah.
All right. So Shia joined. Like the funny thing is, Shia joined my room. He was kind of like this troll-ish character. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mr. Guru Leaks there. Shia was doing some stuff, and he was reporting to him about like Madaz blowing up and shit like that. Okay.
No. That was not true, Max. No. I'm just saying that's wrong. No, I was just telling you that he kind of was looking for information. He reached out to a certain people, and I told him, no, I'm not gonna report anything about Madaz because Madaz is real.
Yeah, but Shia was the guy that
I was just kidding around.
Yeah, Shia was the guy that I was considering kicking out of the room. He was a troublemaker. But after getting to know him a little bit, the guy's very real, man. He's a very nice guy. He's a very talented trader. I mean, the guy made $2 million last year. Is no joke, right? We've been pretty good buddies ever since, and we think a lot alike. He's again a very, very, very nice guy, solid trader. And I'll
tell you what, Max. When I started trading, I got ripped off by a couple other chat rooms, and I was kind of pissed off by because most chat rooms out there are probably full of BS. So I was like looking around and looking at other chat rooms, and I joined your chat room, and I just wanted to see what's going on. And I realized really quick that Max is the real deal. I'm telling you guys, he's so down to earth, and
100%.
he's so it doesn't really matter if he makes $1 or $1 billion. He'll be still the same max, and he's so real. And I realized that really, really quick.
Well, let's revisit that question when I make $1 billion. Nah, for real though. Yeah, like
you're so down to earth.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You know, it all stems from the humble beginnings, man. If you guys don't like know my full story, like I wrote, you know, my story from when I started, you know, working at my engineering job and onward. But you guys don't know that I actually come from very humble beginnings. You know, I came from an immigrant family, single mother. You know, I grew up on food stamps. You know, we had the government housing and all that stuff. You know, I remember waiting in line with my grandma to collect food stamps, and it was brutal, man. It was brutal. So, you know, that keeps me grounded, right? So every single time I make whatever amount of money that I make, be it $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, doesn't freaking matter. I always think back about where I came from, and I'll never forget it. Just coming from basically nothing. I don't want to sound cliche and give you guys that sob story. I'm not going to get into it, but I just wanted to sound like, you know, my story is something that can inspire some of you guys that are in the same situation, the same boat, right? Maybe you're stuck in a dead-end job. Maybe you're dealing with some sort of other, you know, form of adversity that kind of keeping you down. You feel like it's keeping you down at the moment. You know, I've been through it all, right? I had a rough childhood. You know, I went to school. I graduated during the recession. My degree was pretty much like not like I wasn't able to use the degree because nobody was freaking hiring at the time. My first job, I only made $18 an hour as an engineer, which is shit. Those guys that know how much engineers typically get paid, they get paid usually a lot more than $18 an hour. So, you know, I've been through all of that adversity, guys. So, you know, let my story be an inspiration to you. One day, if you work hard enough, you put in the screen time, put in the effort. You know, long nights for me. You know, I used to wake up at 6 a.m. Pacific time, trade, go to work 9 to 5, and then go to grad school at night. And during grad school, I'd study charts until like 10 o'clock during class. My professor didn't know, but I was doing that. And, you know, it's all that hard work and dedication has led to me. All those long 10, 11-hour days has led me to this day, you know, standing in front of all you guys, talking, you know, to you guys about my story and hopefully inspiring you guys to do the same.
Right. Well,
you know,
what inspires me most about you, Max, is how you reply to every single tweet. Even though someone will criticize you or bash you, you wouldn't just block them off like a bunch of other people are doing. You'll explain it to them, and you'll just respond to every single tweet out there, no matter who it is or what he's trying to do, what his intention is. It's just you're keeping it so real, and money hasn't changed you. So
no,
it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
you're really inspiration to me. I must tell you that.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that, you know, that's helped you in many ways. You know, with regards to the guys that, you know, say those bashing tweets. I mean, I understand they're saying that out of emotions, out of anger, out of probably maybe envy or whatever they're trying to exude with those bashing tweets. But I understand they also don't know me, right? So when they're saying those things, they're just bashing me with respect to how they feel instantaneously at that moment. They don't know my full story. They don't know me. So that's why it doesn't really bother me. You're not really attacking me as a person. You're just kind of speaking your mind. You're like, oh man,
yeah, most of them probably blew up or lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
to get their anger out there.
Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to vent.
They're
just trying to find an outlet to vent their frustration, and they're gonna take it on the guys that made money that day, and it just happens to be me. You know. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for the kind words, Shai. I definitely appreciate that. But
sure.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter is asking me, ask Chris and Shia how much ask Chris and Shia how much they lost before they turned things around. I guess you guys can answer that.
Yeah, I lost let's just say over 6 figs before I started trading, before I started to become successful. The reason I lost that much because when I started trading, I had a small account and I blew it up, obviously, going short. So I blew up one account, then another account. Then I decided the reason I'm blowing up is probably because I don't have a lot of money to stick around on a short position. I have to fund my account really big. So I funded my account with a lot of money, over 6 figs. And of course, in the beginning, I was successful because if you're short and you're just holding it, and you're not stopping out. If you have a lot of money, you can just you can just hold it as like the stock will eventually collapse. But until GME type of stocks came around, and that took me out as well. So I lost over 6 figures before I became successful. So what I would say to you guys who are starting trading, don't start up with a big account. That is probably the worst thing you can do. You probably need like over 25,000, 30,000 over PDT, but you don't need 70,000 or 100,000 to become successful. 50,000, like look at Max. He took a $50,000 account and turned it over to 4 million or whatever it is, 5 million. So you don't need a huge account. That will be only, especially if you're a short seller, Chris, right? If you're a short seller, if you're starting off trading, don't go with a big account. Try to stick to a small account, right?
Yeah, I think your risk exposure is a lot more on the short side, and it's kind of deceptive because you don't appreciate how far these stocks can go. I remember when I first started trading, I'd always think, if something's up 100%, oh, this is up too much. It can't go any further.
Right, exactly.
And you see it ripping 200, 300%. So you learn quickly that there's really it's up too much. With GBR the other day, we saw 1,000%. So you see these things. And to answer the question, I probably lost a similar amount to Shy, probably 6 figures before, I kind of realized that I had to, change my approach, change my risk management. And if you guys are familiar with my story, I started my account in December. I just tweeted this the other day. In December of 2019, I started a Trade Zero account with like $3,000 in it. So you don't need a lot of money to be able to grow exponentially, and now I'm in 7 figures. So just, take your time, manage your risk, and apply your edge consistently. That's all it comes down to.
How did you deal with PDT, Chris?
Yeah, that's what they're asking. Yeah, so how were you able to like build it short in?
I'm getting that question a lot. So I unfortunately don't live in the US. So I was using, outside the US brokers, but anybody can get an account with, say, an offshore broker. I think CMEG accepts. Mark, you're with CMEG, right? I think they accept Americans.
Yeah. So CMEG, they do accept Americans, but it has to be unsolicited. So you can't you just like before, I think they used to advertise to the US, but now it's just like they stopped advertising. So you have to like just go find them on your own and then open the account. And they do that, and their fees are relatively inexpensive compared to some of these other brokers, especially if you're trading to the long side. Like with me, I trade to the long side, so I don't really have to pay for locates and all of that. Like I just need the simple buy and the simple sell, and they worked well for me. And another thing is, I usually, like if I'm with them and like I trade and I can just wire out easily. So I haven't really had a problem with them at all with that.
So Tommy is asking how I consistently top tick and bottom tick. Let me tell you this. No one. I'm not looking. Of course, I want to sell at the very top and buy at the very bottom, but that's not my goal. So when I top tick or I bottom tick, it's just most of the times it's just a combination of experience and sometimes luck as well, because you can't just pinpoint to exact top like $6.75. That's where the top is going to be. You can pinpoint like between $6 and $6.25. That's where probably the top is going to be. So when I top tick and bottom tick, I wouldn't say that's probably that's how I trade every single day, top tick and bottom tick. It happens a lot because you get a lot of experience, and between so many trades over the day, some of them are obviously going to be top tick and bottom ticks, but that shouldn't be your focus. Focus on your system, and you'll eventually top tick and bottom tick, but don't focus on top tick and bottom ticket because it's not going to happen every single day. So it's sometimes it's a matter of luck and experience, but because no one knows unless you have level 3 that like $9.26 is going to be the top. So it happens over time, but so don't focus on top ticks.
Yeah. Hey Shia, some guy here is getting kind of angsty. He's like, I guess D Bezel. He said, y'all didn't let Chris finish answering the question as to how he ran it from 3K. And that's Chris, you finished that?
Yeah, so like I started with 3K and I was able to get around the PDT rule, so that didn't limit me in the number of trades that I took. But there's still good opportunities out there. If you focus on really A-plus setups, even if you're under PDT, I still think you can grow your account pretty quickly if you just focus on those really high-end setups and maximize those. So a lot of guys, what they do is they get in trades, and as soon as they're green, they take the profits off the table. And it's a common problem. So piking out is something you need to work on. if you have an A+ setup, you need to let it work for you. So don't take profit till you're up like 20, 30%. And if that setup doesn't give you that potential, then it's not an A+ setup. So this is where your stats come into play. Once you start tracking these setups, you can find out which ones will produce the most returns. And then it's up to you to follow your system. Because the thing with me is when I track my data, I would learn over time that I was not maximizing my metrics. I wasn't capitalizing on the entire move that was available to me. And it was only until that I really forced myself and controlled my emotions that I was able to maximize my potential. And then that's how I grew my account. So if you guys saw my Twitter post the other day, like the first 3 months that I started, I was gaining like 100% a month. I think December was 120%, January 100%. And then in March, it was 300%. So that's when the COVID pandemic started hitting and the markets were going crazy. There was a lot of volatility. And that's when I grew from, like a $20,000 account to 6 figures. And ever since then, I've slowly decreased my size. So once you get to these 6-figure account levels, you can slowly decrease and reduce your risk and volatility. Because at this stage of the game, it's all about preservation. And I know we were talking about before, I asked Max like how he felt about making 7 figures. And then Shai stepped in and said it probably felt better when you made your first 5-figure day. And I kind of feel like that too. Like I made, I had some 7 or 6-figure days, but they don't feel as good as my first like 5 and double 5-figure days, because those are the
100%.
stages when you're kind of like, all right, I'm going to make this. Like I'm going to do this as a trader.
Confirmation.
That's the biggest jump. Yeah, that's the biggest jump.
At this stage of this game, we've already made it. Like us 4 here, we've already made it. We know we're going to make money.
Yeah.
But as you beginner traders, as soon as you hit that 5-figure barrier, it's like, blows your mind.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
So the everyday life is asking. He's consistently like 1 month or 2, and then he loses everything. So that's really common, especially for beginner traders. I'm sure Chris, Mark, Max, and myself included, we all had the same situations. Especially when we started, we had like 3-4 months of consistent trading, then you lose everything. It happened to me. So the only way is just to go back and look why you lost everything. If you're a short seller, which I believe you are, because it's really easy to lose everything from one stupid trade. You just got to go back and see what you did wrong and what you can improve for next time. So you just really have to study. What I used to do, I used to be up over the weekend, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., study my charts to see what I did right and what I did wrong for me in order to for next week to be a better trader. So that's really important to go back and study your chart, study your trade. And if you don't know why you did wrong, and obviously your system is not a good system, because your system shouldn't allow you to lose everything in a month or two, in one day, from like months of work in one day. It might happen, but you just have to really study and go over your trades, what I did right and wrong, and that will definitely help you.
Yeah, and another thing is like, with this, I always say this, right? Like I said, if you can't build a small account, you can't build a big account. If you don't know how to trade with a small account, then there's no way you can trade with a large account. It's just gonna be, you're gonna blow the account pretty quick, just as quick as you blew it with a small account. The only thing, with a small account is like, when you're starting out trying to build a small account, the fees, the commissions kind of like eat into your profits. That's one thing to be aware of. When you're trading a small account and like say you make like $300, $400 or whatever, right? Those commissions can eat into your account when you're starting out. And also your margin for error is so slim. You can build the account, but then if you have like 1 or 2 bad days, it could take you out. So that's one thing that, you need to be like really cautious of, but it can be done. It's really possible. It's really possible to do that. Right. I've been doing a small account. I started about 2 weeks and I built it, but when I had a time where, I lost half of the account on a halt. On one single halt that pretty much gapped down about almost 2 points from the entry. And, if you have a larger account, that probably wouldn't have wiped you out unless you're like a gunslinger and you're basically going max size on the account. But if you just kind of like mind the amount of leverage you're using, and then basically just mind your risk, it can be done. You can easily build an account. You can build a $3,000 account. You can build a $5,000 account. You can build a $1,000 account. You can build a $10,000 account, you know. But if you're just trying to start out and you think, hey, I'm just going to put 50, 100,000 in an account and I'm just going to, grow it to $1 million, it's going to be, you can blow it really quick. And at that time, you've literally blown $50,000 or $100,000 in a very short time span. So,
see, someone is mentioning about a simulator. What I would say about a simulator, it isn't, for some people, a simulator might help. For some people, it's really important just to get an idea, like how trading works, what it is really all about. But you can't compare the emotions between a simulator and real live account. It's a totally different ballgame. So I would say if you're successful in a simulator, don't just like
translate.
Yeah, don't switch to a live account with the same size. Just like downsize really dramatically until you prove to yourself that you know how to trade. Because when emotions kicks in, it takes over the entire trade. You have to be really, really a professional trader. Just put your emotions to the side and just do your thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Shai. I was going to add something to that. I think using demo accounts, and this is something that I go over in my course, and there's a large portion about psychology. If you're using demo accounts, I think it gives you a false sense of security and confidence that you can trade. And then as soon as you trade with a live account, you're not able to deal with the emotional aspects. So in a way, I think it hurts you. So I never recommend using demo accounts like Shai had mentioned.
I'd say I wouldn't recommend it, but I would say just it's a totally different situation between a demo account and a live account. Well, if you don't know anything about trading, maybe it's good for a month or two, but it's not. It's totally different.
Yeah. And Michael Brown, I see here asking if I can share my journaling process. It's kind of hard to explain on a podcast, but it is something that I go over in my course over 2 lessons. So, we have a thorough explanation of Excel spreadsheets, how to log your trades, how to extract edges using Excel formulas. So it's very in-depth. So more in my course.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just trading with a sim, it's got its positives and negatives. If you're gonna trade with a sim, I always feel like it's good to use a sim if you're trying to like back test the strategy that you've been working on, right? If you looked at data and you've analyzed data and stuff like that, and you just want to like back test to see how many times those scenarios occur, to see what the metrics are behind this particular strategy, you can absolutely use a sim to do that. Now, and if you're trying to get into trading after knowing the metrics and everything, I would recommend at least starting out small, take small size, and at least try that for like a week or try that for at least a month or something. Slowly up your size.
What I would add is when you backtest a strategy, let's say you get a 70 or 80% success rate. Let's say you're backtesting strategy and it shows you that if you just do your thing based on the strategy, you will make 70% a month. Just an example. Your expectations should be way lower, because you won't make 70% in a month, even though your strategy, while you backtest it, shows you that number. You have to give like room for error, like at least 20% off or something like that of the like the 70% or the 80% you're willing to make, you want to make. Because when I started trading, I backtested a lot. I built many spreadsheets and stuff as well, and I had my expectations were really high, but when it came to real life, the story was really different. I'm sure Chris can agree to that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're trading with real money, it's such a different experience, and
the fills and everything.
Yeah, exactly. The fills are the biggest thing, because in the simulator account, you're filling instantly with no slippage, no delays, no errors, no routing problems.
And when you backtest, you don't have any emotions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like whenever I've run back tests, what I do as a rule of thumb is I slice that number in half.
Right.
So if my edge is 30%, I'm going to assume that I'm going to execute 15% in live conditions.
Okay,
so just to protect yourself from overestimating your edge, which is very common.
All right. I see a question here. When I go in 50,000 shares, do I put in 5 10K orders, 10 5K orders, etc.? these ultra liquid ones. If it's ultra liquid, I try to get filled as much as possible in one hit. But if it's not liquid, then I might break it up into 3, 4, 5 orders, like you said. Yes, correct. Oftentimes, if I'm doing 50,000, it's either 25, 25, or yeah, like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Something like that. It depends on the situation. You know, if I can sense that the liquidity is not there, then I'll break it down accordingly in order to get filled. Another question is GRTS loss. How could I have avoided it? So in hindsight, I looked at it. Essentially, what happened on GRTS was there was a float lock. I looked at it very closely, and it was pretty clear that they locked the float the day before, and then they just ripped everyone at the open, stopped out all the shorts, and then dumped. The reason why I couldn't recover the loss is because the SSR is on, so I couldn't get back to my short, unfortunately. So the stock, if you guys looked at GRTS that day where I took the loss, it spiked up like very violently over the previous day's highs. It made new all-time highs, actually, and then after that, it just dumped with no bounce. But unfortunately, because, you know, I had to take the loss because I didn't want to get skipped up to $40, $50 because of the SSR. I couldn't get back in. In most cases, I would have gone back in and made back the loss, but because of SSR, I had to just accept the red day, unfortunately. But the premise of that was if I recognized that it was a float lock kind of scenario, then I probably would not have went in, or if I did go in, I wouldn't have gone in as big. So that was a lesson from that. I won't make that mistake next time.
So I see someone asking if I still have FOMO. Well, I do have FOMO, but totally different levels. It's just not the same as I had before. And I deal with it totally differently. But as an experienced trader, the more experience you have, the easier it is to deal with. So I'm going to talk about in my classes how to deal with FOMO and what to do about it. But every single trader has it in different levels. But it's much easier to deal with it if you're experienced. You know what to do as a trader.
Yeah, I agree, Shai. Like, I think after a certain point, you just kind of know yourself as a trader. You know what you do well, and you know what you don't. Like this entire run up with GME, I definitely had FOMO to chase it on the long side, but I just knew that I wouldn't be able to execute it properly. And every time that I got long, I would pike out for like $1 a share when I could have made $20, $30. I just realized there's no point for me to trade this because the only two outcomes are a big loss or a small win.
At the end of the game, if you'll continue doing that, you might win like 3-4 times, but that other 2 times you will lose. It will be brutal.
Yeah. Yes, it's really important to stick to what you know, and
exactly.
Over time, you just take so many losses doing things that you have no idea what you're involved in. Then you kind of get the idea, all right, I just got to stick to my own lane and do what I do.
Right.
Sid says, can you guys talk about the computer setups you're using for scalping, best computer configurations? You just need you need like obviously like a fast broker, a direct access broker. As far as the computer setup, just have a really fast computer that can execute, your orders quick. Maybe a computer with high memory, an i7. You can get like a gaming computer is really good, because it can process really fast. And have hotkeys. Set up hotkeys if you're trying to scalp in and out. So scalping is like speed is of the essence. So you have to be able to have hotkeys or hub buttons if you're trying to scalp, and have a great computer, a gaming laptop, a gaming desktop, that can that can help you get in and out, process stuff really quick, and I think that's all you need, honestly.
Yeah, if you guys want to take a look at my specs for both my home and mobile setups, just go to madazmoney.com, go to the facts section, it's all there. And if you guys have seen my YouTube video where I talk about my mobile setup and also did a review on the 43-inch LG monitor that I use, check that out. Go to my YouTube channel, it's all there. I wanted to ask Shai. Shai is actually making a new build. You want to talk about that for a second for your new trading setup?
Yeah, so what I did, I kept on changing it, but I'm actually building it right now. So I settled on it. Was really difficult to get the parts because it, like, you can't get a GPU. It's really difficult. But CPU, I settled on AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. I probably paid almost double the amount, almost double the retail price, because there isn't available, and it's out of stock from every single store, and they're not going to restock anytime soon. So I had to pay like a lot of money for it. And yeah, it's really fun to build a PC for me. So, but you don't have to. You can buy a good PC out there. But I settled on AMD Ryzen 9 and RAM. I do have 128 gigabytes of RAM. That's important. 64 gigabytes should be over enough. But if you're going all the way, then 128 should do the job.
Yeah, it's overkill for trading, honestly.
Right. 60. And remember, the most important thing about your PC is RGB, right? The more RGB, the more money you make, right?
Exactly. Of course. The more lights you got, the more money you're making.
I'm just kidding. But it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to build a PC.
SSD, I say, is very important too. You should have an SSD.
Of course, and M2 SSD.
M2, yeah.
The best.
Get like a Samsung like 970 Pro or at least something like that. Yeah. That's what I have.
They have the Samsung 870 Pro, the 870 or 860, I don't remember. But they have a new one out there, no?
I don't know. I have the 970. I got it like last year. It's pretty good. Samsungs are known for their SSDs, so if you want the best, go get Samsung.
Right, I got a 980 Pro.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you don't have to like overkill on like the equipment, you know.
No, you don't.
I'll say just focus on learning the process and actually learning everything you need to know about trading, learning the proper skills and everything.
That's more important than
anything, because I've seen guys with freaking 5 or 6 monitors and like command station. It look like these guys are like the Air Force or something. Got all these gizmos. They can't trade to save their life.
What I would say is
multiple screens, and they don't know how to trade.
Screen real estate is important. You can't trade like on 120-inch monitor. You have to have at least 2, 3. I got like 6 monitors, but that's probably a lot. I got 2 4K 42-inch monitors, and then another 4 27-inch monitors. That's probably a little bit too much for the average trader. But you need more than one. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. I have 3 26-inch monitors. They're over there, and I mean it's worked well for me. 2 monitors for like trading and stuff. 1 for like internet. It's worked well, really. I mean, maybe I could get another one because I'm actually I need to look at more tickers. So I'll probably get another monitor and add to it. It'll be like 4 monitors.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend you guys get a 43-inch LG monitor if you can. If you can get it on sale, I got mine for $399. I got one of them for $349. So ridiculous prices for those monitors. I mean, my friend literally walked into my room and thought that I was like Bruce Wayne with the bad computer. So, yeah, I would say that the 43-inch monitors are worth it. I mean, if you have the money, it's worth it because like I literally never have to like minimize any windows or anything. They're all just there.
Really big. It took me about a week or 2 to get used to the 43-inch.
Yeah, and I also had to buy. I had to buy like a 90-inch desk for it. So you need to buy a new table.
Yeah. I had to build my custom desk because I couldn't find the desk that would be that big, an L-shaped desk. I had to build my custom desk. So
yeah.
I'm looking to buy one of those. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like one of those travel laptops that has 2 screens.
Yeah.
2 screens.
Yeah.
Kind of like fold. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. That way, if I'm looking to travel and I want to trade, I don't have to like pack a bunch of stuff. I can just pack that laptop that has 3 monitors.
The portable USB screens, right?
No, there's ones it's connected already.
It's connected already, so they just fold out.
Already.
Yeah, they fold out. Yeah. It might be kind of expensive. It might be pretty expensive right now because they're probably the only ones making it.
Yeah, I like that.
Who is making that?
I forgot who.
No, I saw it online. My wife actually sent me the screenshot of it, and I actually saw it as an ad last year, and I was looking at it. I was like, "Whoa, this will come in handy." Because I remember like a lot of times, when I've traveled, I had to pack my laptop. There's a time where I packed a monitor, just to travel. Because I was going to be staying at the hotel for a few days, so I wanted to trade, right? And it's hard to trade on a laptop. It's freaking hard.
It's hard to trade on hotel Wi-Fi. I don't know how you did that.
No, that was really good. That was
good.
Wow,
okay.
I mean, the Wi-Fi was good.
Okay.
The Wi-Fi was pretty solid. I know a hotel Wi-Fi could be kind of shitty, but that was pretty solid. They had really fast Wi-Fi, and I mean that's one of the first things I ask before I check into a hotel. Like, how is your Wi-Fi? Like what's how is it? If it's shitty or if the reviews say the Wi-Fi is spotty and stuff, then I'll look for another hotel that has like positive reviews on their Wi-Fi and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get that laptop. It comes in really handy. You know, all you have to do is just basically pack the laptop if you're traveling, and it comes with like fold out monitors, and yeah, you can just trade. It would be like having your own portable.
Yeah, you gotta search like dual screen laptop on Amazon, something like that, to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just use my portable USB monitors. It works. It's really light, so it works well for me.
All right, we got a question here from Charles. How do you guys size on your trades, percentage of account? So that's a good question. I think with smaller accounts, you can be more aggressive. When I was starting with 3,000, I would go with 50% on each trade, just because it wasn't a whole lot of money. And if I lost it, then so be it. But
Right.
you know, as I've sized up, I've decreased my percentages, so I'm at like 10% now. I think, you know, there's a question earlier about FOMO, like do we experience FOMO? And I think as a new trader, you're trying to make it, the levels of FOMO are so much higher because you're not sure if you're going to make money or not. So you end up forcing trades and you just want to make it so bad to that 6-figure level. But once you get there, then the FOMO really comes down a lot because you don't have pressure anymore. You can just sit back, you can wait for the right setups. So I think as a beginner trader, you really have to work to limit the FOMO. And I talk a lot about this in the class. So
Absolutely.
you know, there's a lot of opportunities for you guys to learn these things, and it's important because, you know, the psychological aspects of trading are just so important, but I don't feel like we talk about it enough. We always talk about setups. You know, we just spent the last 20 minutes talking about monitors and computers and things, which is fine, but it just shows you the emphasis in the trading community is all on technical aspects, setups, charts, indicators, but the psychology component is so much more important.
100%.
Really like to stress
100%.
that in my classes, guys.
The technical details, the monitors, it's just fun, but the actual trading.
We're all nerds at heart. That's why we love talking about this stuff. But we gotta focus on what's going to make you money.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why people don't really talk about psychology as much as like technical is psychology is one of those. It's hard to teach that. Right? It's really kind of hard because you can tell somebody, okay, try doing this and try doing that. But when they're in the heat of the moment, it's so hard, right? It's hard to like be quick and nimble and not let your emotions get into it. You know, it's kind of like if I take a guy off the street or something like that, or you know, if you teach a guy how to shoot a gun and everything, and teach him how to aim and teach him how to use a weapon, right? And then they're going to be good in like a gun range. They're going to be really good. They're going to be okay because the pressure is not there, right? But then take that same person and just drop them in a battlefield where it's like guns going off everywhere and bombs and everything. They're going to freak out. They're going to freak out. They're going to be like, what am I doing? They might not even, like everything you taught them might just go out the window. They might not even know how to shoot a gun at that point. They just, their hands will be shaking or something, right? They freeze, exactly. So I think it's one of those things where, you know, people don't really talk too much about the psychology because you can tell somebody and like teach them and like kind of like give them pointers and help them out and everything. But when they get in there in a battlefield, now it's like you have to really execute, you know, your emotions have to be in check, and it's hard, you know, it's hard. I mean, I've seen people get the same type of emotions with a small account as they would with a large account. The same thing, but it's just over time, just practice, it gets easier. You know, it's just one of those things you have to like keep practicing. I think Max says he does yoga or something.
Meditation. I do yoga once in a while.
Wow.
Yoga's awesome.
Once a week.
Yeah, see, it's good. Anything that keeps you grounded and keeps you mentally calm and composed. That's very important. I mean, like Mark said, it's very difficult to describe psychology or teach it because it's very abstract. You know, it's something that's, you can't really truly show someone how it feels like to be, you know, in a blow up situation. You can't teach somebody how to handle a situation where they're in a really difficult spot, like they're stuck in a halt or something. You can't teach somebody that. Like, how do you teach somebody how does it feel like to be in a bad situation? You can't. The only way is to experience it yourself, and this is why it's inevitable that all of us pay some sort of market tuition, right? That's where it comes from, right? You pay market tuition to get these experiences, to learn things like trading psychology and stuff like that from experiencing the shit show, you know, circumstances yourself, and then you internalize it, and the next time you know how to handle it. So that's just the nature of it.
And this guy,
I agree, Max. Like, we can't share our experiences with our students, but what we can do is give them the practical tools to overcome them. So we can say, if you find yourself in this situation, this is what you need to do.
Do this,
so
do
you
that,
give them
exactly.
the actions that they can take, and then they can learn from experience that way.
Right. One of the guys that I learned from when I started trading, he always says this. It's always good whenever you have a really big day, whenever you make money, or whenever you lose a lot of money, to pull yourself away from the market. So if you're up huge and like you had like your best day ever, try to like pull away from the market, meditate or something, or take some time.
There's nothing wrong taking a day off the market after a good day.
Absolutely.
Or a bad day.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong.
They always say that. And the guy that I learned from, he said this, he always said that. If you have a bad day, like your worst day or something like that, pull away from the market. You know, pull away from the market. If you had your best day ever, you're like the craziest you've ever made, right? Pull away from the market.
Right,
he always
because
says that,
then you feel invincible and you lose everything.
And you lose everything. And why do you think, if you look, why do you think a lot of guys always have their worst day after their best day? Always. A lot of times it's like that. They have their really best day, and then like the next day or the day after, they blow up. Oh, like it almost never fails. And there's a reason for that. There's a psychology behind that. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is what is going to happen to most of the Wallstreetbets guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel bad for them, but they might end up losing everything.
Yeah, they will.
They will. We've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there ourselves.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
If you had 10 grand in your account and somehow you managed to buy GME before everybody started knowing about the stock, and then that 10 grand turned to $1 million, and you cash out, go on a vacation, man. Just get away from the market. That's my advice. Get away from the market for a few days.
Yeah. Important thing.
Pull away from the market.
The most noticeable thing that you can notice about like Max, Chris, and all of us is, even after a really bad day, we just come in the next day, trade the same setup, and sometimes we make it all back, and sometimes we have our best days after our worst days. That is the real, like, a noticeable difference between a professional trader versus a beginner trader.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, Shai, because it's just the mentality of having that confidence in your system and not giving up. I think a lot of rookie traders, if they have a big loss, they're going to ditch their strategy, or they're just going to stop trading altogether. Mm-hmm. So we all have such a conviction in ourselves and our systems. And, I haven't seen this question asked in chat, but I know we're all wondering it. So I'm just going to ask it myself. Max, what is your next big purchase with that 7-figure day, man? Tell us.
Oh, that's a good question. Somebody said yacht. That no, I'm not gonna get a yacht. That's a little bit out of my price range at the moment. I'm honestly, I'm looking at a house first. I want to get get a nice house. Y'all invited.
All right.
And in LA.
In LA.
Yeah, now then you have to make a couple million more.
Yeah, exactly. What I got right now, I can only afford the shack in the back in Compton or something, right?
A garage.
No, I'm probably gonna get a house first, and then whatever I have left, then I'll probably get like another nice car. But the house is gonna come first.
Just make sure it has a big garage for.
Oh, of course.
10 cars.
Oh, of course, exactly. But yeah, you guys are all invited. Come have a drink, shoot the shit, talk stocks, all that good shit. So
maybe we'll trade live from there one day.
And we'll trade live. We'll trade live and do a live version of this podcast.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
That would be fun. We'll force Shai to watch sports. We'll pour Shai a beer and have him bro out with us with sports, with some sports.
Never say never.
Yeah, Shai, you got to get into some kind of sport, man. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I know, man. What are you talking
trading
about?
Trading is my sport.
Yeah.
You got to get into something, man. You know, some type of, either football or basketball.
Something, man. Freaking
something. You know,
hockey,
ice
man.
skating.
Hockey,
Or,
yeah, at least golf, tennis,
golf,
something, man.
they have curling now. Curling.
Freaking,
that's
yeah.
like
you know they have esports side.
Esports. There you go. Esports.
Now I have FOMO with so much going on. I'm not sure where to begin with.
There you go.
Yeah.
Analysis for paralysis.
So funny.
Paralysis by analysis, right there.
Yeah, so I think that's about it.
Any final questions, guys? So we'll wrap it up. Hey, it looks like a lot of you guys actually stuck around to the very end. We had a very consistent amount of viewers, so thank you for all you guys. To the three assholes that thumbs us down, you guys can go to hell.
Well, I'll say I love you anyways.
Well, my goal will be to turn you guys out. Look at another guy just thumbs us down just because I said that.
Mark said, "Learn to play chess."
Drown him out with the thumbs up, guys.
Look at that. There comes the haters. Here comes the haters. There we go. Here come the haters.
I just mentioned I should learn to play chess. What is funny actually is while I babysit my positions, well, sometimes I have to stick around just to babysit my positions for them to hit my target. I actually play chess, so that is what I'm doing. Yeah, I just play chess and wait for my target to hit or stop out, whatever. So I play chess a whole lot. Yeah, that's what I do.
So you're familiar with that miniseries Queen's Gambit, right?
Yeah, it was a good show.
I watched it. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know, Shai. I don't know if you watched that, but
no, I have not. No.
You should watch it. You should watch it. It's pretty good.
Really
Yeah.
good.
I felt like it was too short. I think it should have been like.
I think it was too short too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I have to watch Billions first. So.
Oh no, definitely, dude, definitely.
So Mark, where can we find this show?
So Billions is on Showtime, and I don't know if
Hulu. You should be able to.
Well, you still gotta pay for Showtime, right? I mean, so one thing I have like HBO on Showtime and Cinemax and all that. But what you can do is if you don't have Showtime, you can just get like a free trial, and they can give you like a month free trial, and then just binge watch it, and you can do that in like a week. Just binge watch it once you get Showtime free trial. Just watch Billions, dude. Like that is a freaking good show. It's really good. Right. I can tell you it's good. I mean, they've got like, a lot of cameos. Jim Chanos has been on there. I don't know if you guys know Jim Chanos, but he's like one of the short only hedge fund managers. Yeah. So he's been on there. They've got they actually had an episode about Elon Musk, and like a guy that's supposed to be the equivalent of Elon Musk. He's on there. They had a whole crypto episode.
Max, do you ever play chess?
Oh yeah, I used to. I don't know if you ever watched the movie In Search for Bobby Fischer, but that was a movie that got me into chess, and I was actually a pretty avid chess player as a child. Not quite a prodigy by any stretch of the imagination, but I did play as a child. Yeah.
Alistair is trying to challenge me. What's your score on chess?
1300. I haven't played in like 7 years, man. But
someone in chat.
Yeah, but I will tell you that I play chess the same way that I trade, very unorthodox.
I can just imagine.
No strategy.
No, like you're expecting some run of the mill basic stuff. I just do something that's completely out of left field and it'll throw you off. I guarantee you that.
But you know what's crazy, Max? But you know what's? It's funny that you said that. Guys that play the game like you, right? That have like this unorthodox. They're like the hardest to beat.
Yeah.
Like even with poker, right? If you
anything.
Poker, if a guy has he doesn't have like a defined strategy, because you don't really know how to you can't predict what.
Yeah, you don't have anything in your playbook to react to what they're doing.
React to that, right? So I know some of those guys are just like fucking, they just kind of they're figuring it out as they go. They're formulating a strategy. It's like busting the trick play, in like football or something like a Statue of Liberty or like some sort of gimmick play. That's basically what I'm doing all the time. That's what I'm doing with the market. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up. Nope. Do you guys have anything to add?
The VWAP trader really wants to know how many push-ups and pull-ups we can do. He's asked that like 3 times. Right. Since we're gonna wrap it up, we might as well just tell him.
At once, I could do 50 between 55 and 60 push-ups.
Push-ups? How many pull-ups can you do?
I can do 30 easily.
That's pretty good, dude.
Oh, wow.
That's not bad.
That's good.
Not
What
bad.
about you,
Yeah,
Max?
not bragging or anything. This is.
You know what? I want to see this.
You want to see it?
Yeah. Do a video and post that shit.
Okay. Okay. I'll do a video. I'll do a video of the push-ups. I'll do it because I mean I don't have a bar here, right? But I'll do a video. I'll do a video of the push-ups and I'll send it to you guys.
What about you, Max? What about you, Max?
560.
I would say probably around the same. Yeah, I mean, I actually do push-ups and I work out very regularly, so I could do 25 weighted pull-ups, so I could probably do 30 regular push-ups pretty easily. Pull-ups.
Wow.
These guys are saying, "Oh my god!" These guys are saying, "Prove it!" Like I can literally.
I can do it. I don't know if you guys remember, but in high school, you know how like the army would come to your school and like hand out those army shirts for free, and then like they would make you do the pull-ups so you can get the shirt. Dude, my whole entire school couldn't do it. I was the only one that actually did it. So.
I wish I could do the push-ups for you guys right now, man. And you guys.
Hey, drop it and give me 50 right now.
Right now?
Right now.
You guys want me to do it right now?
Hey, do it. Hey, come on. Hey, who wants to see Mark prove that he can do 50?
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna say you can do 55 push-ups? You better fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Let me.
Hey, proper form. Proper form.
This is gonna be.
Oh, he's gonna do it, guys. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
You guys see me?
All the way down. All right.
That's the
You guys
funniest
see me?
thing.
It's gonna be interesting.
All
I don't know
right.
if you guys can see me. Can you guys see
Yeah,
me?
we see you. Let's go.
Okay, so
all the way
you guys
down.
You guys are gonna have
Hey,
to count.
if his form sucks, call him out. All right. You guys hear that?
Yeah, if my form sucks, call me out. I'm not gonna BS you guys.
Do diamond push-ups.
Nah, just give him right
No,
now.
that's too much. I'm just gonna do the regular one. Now, let me see if I can tilt this camera so you guys can see. Can you guys see?
All right. What's the number? 55 or 50?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do 55.
All right,
okay?
55. Let's go.
Ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. All right.
1, 2, 3,
3,
4,
4, 5, 6,
Oh
7,
8,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Oh, shit.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Oh, he's dying.
41,
He's dying. Come on.
42,
You got it.
43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48,
All the way down, bro.
49.
He's going half reps now.
50.
All the way down.
All the way
No.
down.
Okay, hold on. 51, right? Hold on.
Pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
That's
52.
really good.
Yeah. That's
53,
Two more.
when I first said that, I'm like, this guy's full of shit. But now I'm not.
Hold on.
One good one. Good one. All the way down. Yeah, you
The
got
last
it.
one, that's the
55.
most difficult one.
Dude,
All right, well, we'll give it to him.
Hold
We'll
on.
give it to him. We'll give it to
you
him.
guys do realize I didn't warm up, right? I just went straight for it.
Oh, here comes the excuses. Oh, here
That
comes
was
the
good, man. That was
excuses.
good. Props.
No, that was pretty good,
Oh.
man. We'll give it to him. We'll give it
No,
to him,
dude.
man.
With the pressure on and everything.
Yeah, we'll
too.
give it to him.
Yeah.
We'll give it to him.
You're sweating right now.
Of course, because I didn't really, this. If I was in a gym, right, it would have been a whole different story. Because then I would have like warmed up and everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is different. At least you guys saw it, right? It's fun.
Yeah, we saw it.
So yeah, there goes. Here you go.
What is this turning into a workout podcast now?
Good shit, right?
So we talked about stocks, gaming,
Yeah.
computers, workouts. What else?
Everything.
Sports.
Sports.
Everything. Chess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was the last
Fun
question, I think,
chatting with you
right?
guys.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you, Max.
Awesome hanging out with you guys. Check out, hey, by the way, guys, institute.madazmoney.com. The courses are starting next week. I think Chris is starting in just 6 days, so this is your last chance.
Yep.
Use promo code LaunchSale25 for 25% off. Check it out, guys.
Saturday, guys.
I mean,
Get in
you guys
before
can
it's too
tell,
late.
man. We keep it real. We keep it real, and you're gonna get the same real experience when you're inside, all the classrooms. So check it out, guys. Institute.madazmoney.com. Of course, as always, check out madazmoney.com. Awesome trading community. Check out my YouTube videos and all that jazz. Follow these guys on social media, Twitter and Instagram. And any final concluding thoughts, guys? Last thing you want to say?
See you guys Monday. Watch GameStop, watch silver, and keep an eye on those two, man. It could go nuts.
Silver squeeze is actually trending on Twitter right now.
I know.
It's funny, right? It's hashtag silver squeeze is trending on Twitter. There you go.
Yeah. We'll see what happens next week, man. You guys have a wonderful week Sunday, and catch you guys next week. Hope everybody has a great week, and we all can bank, all right?
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Signing off.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yeah, institute.madazmoney.com. Launch sale 25. That's a promo code. Launch sale 25. All right.
Bye-bye, guys.
Signing out,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye-bye.
All right.